And Will Harris, you're live.
Man, this is crazy.
You're on the other side of the camera now.
Yeah.
Let me give you an introduction for people who don't know. Will is the man behind Anatomy of the Fighter. If you ever seen any of those videos, like particularly the most famous one was when Conor McGregor threw that dolly at the bus with Khabib Nurmagomedov was on it, and it became a huge part of the promotion, which I thought was weird that it was this shameful act, right, that he did that. I mean, really awful. Cut a bunch of innocent people that were on the bus, but they used it over and over and over again. That was your footage.
Yes.
A lot of people didn't even know, including me.
No one did. I was telling a friend the other day, what's funny, no one has ever heard this, but when it happened, I showed Khabib at the back of the bus because he had a smile on his face, and I showed him and everybody else on the bus that I actually caught Conor doing it because they didn't really know it was Conor.
Right.
So I remember Khabib looked at the footage. I was holding the camera, and he was like, "Brother, you could get paid from this." It's like, bro, this is worth $100,000. He looked at his manager, Ali, a shout out to Ali, and he was like, give him some money. He deserves this. And then I gave it to the UFC to use for embedded. And I thought that was just it. And they promoted the fight with it. And I was like, damn, I should have just leaned my head to the right and got hit by the dolly so I could not have to be doing GoFundMes and shit.
Well, what you should have done is ask for money for it. That video footage it turned out it was very valuable because it set up the fight, which also set up the post-fight brawl. I mean, there was so much that was involved in him throwing that dolly, and you caught that video, and they played that shit over and over and over. I was actually kind of shocked that they did that because at the time we were like, "Whoa, Conor might go to jail." Like that was like legitimate assault.
They used it the next day. I was like, "Damn!" Like
WME is
when I saw
merciless.
it on when I saw it on Fox News and CNN, I was just like, that's my footage.
Yeah.
Because, when you build in a channel or a series like that, you think, oh, this is my moment. Everybody has a moment.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the UFC promoted it. And shout out to them because they've been nothing but good to me. I can't say anything. I still wish I would have got something from it.
You should have got something from it.
Yeah.
Pull this mic up. Just get it up there, like
right
fist
here?
from your face. There you go.
Right there.
Yeah, no, you do a fantastic job. I mean, you really do. And I like I said, until that video footage came out, I didn't know that you weren't even a part of the UFC's promotion team. I didn't know. I thought maybe WME had hired you, and this is another thing that they're working on. I did not know that you were independent.
Well, what was crazy is that I started it almost 2 years ago. I was just sitting at home in Florida. I was living in South Florida, and I was hanging out with the guys at the Blackzilians at Jocko. I had stumbled over there one day at the gym, and I seen it when I was grocery shopping, and I just stopped in. And I was doing stuff for Shannon Briggs. Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ.
I was
You
just
did
going
his stuff?
I was going to the Heavyweight Factory.
You do all those? The Shannon Briggs
No,
ones?
I wasn't doing his phone videos.
Oh, okay.
What happened was I reached out to him, and he invited me to the Heavyweight Factory. Holyfield was there, everybody, and I just went there a few times, and I created some creative videos for them.
Holyfield's still working out?
He was when I was there. I seen him.
He still looks good.
He does, man. He like what?
Crazy. He's like 50 years old.
Something years
At
old.
least 50 years
I got
old.
I got some amazing stories about that I've never released about Tyson fight, like crazy things, like his.
Him
I got some
talking about
stuff.
it?
Yeah,
When are you putting it out?
Well, initially, Anatomy of a Fighter was just supposed to be a documentary. That was it. And that was it, just an hour-long documentary. I never knew who a Khabib was or nothing. Like,
really?
I just didn't know. I knew Michael Johnson, all these guys, because they was at the Blackzilians. So I knew the first day I ever went in the gym, like Michael Chandler, Kamaru Usman. Shout out to Kamaru Usman, because the first time I ever saw him, I thought he was a bum.
What?
Because Michael Chandler gave it to him, and I got it on camera. And I thought
no.
Michael Chandler was the stud, right? And then they was like, oh, he won the Ultimate Fighter, things like that. So that was almost 2 years ago.
You thought he was a bum?
Yeah, just because I saw
a rough day in the gym.
It was sparring. It was just
okay.
sparring. So I'm going around filming people, and then I just turned to the cage, and like Michael Chandler just dropped him with like a low shot, and then Michael Chandler like walking around him. Like I created this film called The Portrait of the Blackzilians. That was like the first thing I ever made because it was Glenn Robinson, R.I.P. to him, and Tyrone Spong that really pushed me to do MMA. They saw the stuff that I did with Shannon Briggs, and they called me into the office that same day that I gave whoever the manager was at Jocko the footage. And Glenn just said, listen, we need this type of work in MMA. Like, this is high quality stuff. And Tyrone Spong was boxing, so I knew he was probably loving the footage with Shannon Briggs because he in boxing.
And that's after he broke his leg against Gokhan Saki, and he decided to just go straight to boxing.
So Tyrone, he's very persuasive, and he was like, hey, we need this in the gym. So they gave me a pass to go to a sparring day and really work out with them. And there it is right there. But that's how it happened. And I just kept going to the gym every day.
Put that back up, James.
And then,
the other. Okay.
Yeah. That's the first thing I ever filmed in my life, called The Portrait of the Blackzilians. And that shot of Michael Chandler, RIP to Jordan Parsons. That was a fighter that, died after getting hit by a car. But that's the first thing I ever filmed for Anatomy of a Fighter. That was the sparring match. And that was it. And from there, everything was born. I still was like focusing on doing like a documentary until I moved to Vegas like a summer after that, during the Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather fight. I felt like I needed to move to Vegas because the energy was taking me there. And I felt like, if I'm going to do a documentary, I might as well be in Vegas where a lot of fighters is.
But this is a giant shift for you, right? So like, what were you filming before 2 years ago when you were at the Blackzilians?
Before that, like, I have a wedding business. So I was doing weddings. My big black ass was doing weddings, which is funny. I go to these weddings and people be like,
because Will's sitting down. Will's gigantic. How tall are you?
6'5".
So he's towered over all these people filming their weddings.
Yeah. I really thought, like, man, my life is miserable at one point. I was like, I'm just shooting
boring.
these. After a while, like, you win an award, then another award, then another award, and it's all based off reviews, right? And it was like, man, I got to do something more than this. So I did like basketball documentaries in Italy. I lived in Italy for a minute. I went to China, did a basketball documentary there because that's my background, basketball. But after that, I was just like, man, what else can I do? And I literally just stumbled. I saw the gym one day, Jocko, and I was like, that's where them Blackzilians train. And I went over there, and that's how all of this started.
So you just walked in, no martial arts training?
Nothing. I just saw the gym.
Wow.
And I was like, that's Jocko. I know the Blackzilians train there. So I went in there like midday. Nobody was in there. And I just said, listen, I'm a filmmaker. I would love to film some of these fighters. And that's how it happened.
Did you go to school for that?
Yeah. So I went to college at University of Southern Indiana in Evansville on a basketball scholarship. I was the top senior in America coming out of high school. And I went to this top Division II school after I tried to wait my senior year to get some Division I offers. If people know, like, Division I is the top level of basketball, and then Division II is right under that. Probably not now, but back then it was. And I went. Bruce Pearl was my coach. He was very persuasive to get me to come to the university. He coaches at Auburn now. They just went to the Final Four this year, if you know anything about basketball. But I played my first year, and then going into my second year, I tore my ACL. And my life was over. All I knew was basketball. If anybody know anything about Carbondale, it's about 25,000 people. People don't leave that town. It's kind of a miserable, thing. I think like the average household median income there is like $16,000 a year for families.
Jesus.
Yeah, like, so you come from the bottom.
Did you get it repaired?
Yeah. So I had surgery. I had the red shirt. So when you're in college and you sit out a year, you red shirt. So one day I was dating this girl and she was going to Walmart. And she literally was just like, you want to come to Walmart with me? And I was like, yeah. I had some Pell Grant money, and I was addicted to you remember the MTV show Road Rules and Real World?
Yeah.
I used to be addicted to that stuff. So I used to watch it all the time. And I went to Walmart that day and bought a camera. That was a Sony Handycam, the one you used to put little mini DVDs in. And that was the birth. Literally, my life changed as soon as I bought that camera. And I was like, I'm going to just film my rehab and come back more ferocious. And all I was doing was like filming girls at parties doing bongs and shit like that. Like literally for 4 years, I had a camera every day.
So you just stopped playing basketball?
No,
totally?
I continued to play basketball. I came back a year after my red shirt. I finished at one of the top 5 scorers in school history and university history, top 4 rebounds, all-time leader in field goal percentage, All-American my senior year. We went to the national championship, played on national TV, everything. After that was done, I wasn't the same player after I tore my ACL. I can just admit that. Like, I was this high-flying, super freak, athletic, 45-inch vertical type of player I couldn't do that anymore. So I had to adjust my whole game.
What was wrong?
I don't know. Maybe I just, it was different back in 2001, right?
As far as the surgery?
As far as surgery.
Did you get the patella tendon graft?
I got patella, yep.
That's a rough one to come back from.
And they don't do that anymore.
They still do.
They do?
Yeah, George St. Pierre had that done.
Yeah.
They do that sometimes because they think that the patella tendon, I had it done in 93. I had it done on this leg. And then this one I had the cadaver, which was way easier.
Yeah.
Cadaver's like a 6-month rehab, and I was back to jiu-jitsu 100%.
I was always like slightly knock-kneed, right? And it's like that surgery made my left knee even more knock. And it's like, that's why I was telling Jamie, like, I need that because I feel like I need to like strengthen my IT.
Yeah. Jamie has this crazy roller thing. What is that thing called again, Jamie?
A roll recovery.
Here, pull it up.
R8. I got it. Boom.
Yeah, I need something like that.
Jamie's showing everybody. There you go.
It's crazy, heavy
You
duty.
clamp that thing down your thigh.
Yeah.
It didn't seem that good for my calves.
Well, you were like standing on. You got like you can't have any tension on it or
okay.
whatever. You like have a.
But your
loose
thigh,
muscle.
it seems like it would be a lot of pressure because it's
sure
like a spring.
Yeah, the thicker your muscle, it's like it's hot. I don't know how much weight it is pushing on it, but it's a lot.
And you could also push with both sides
for sure. Yeah, you can.
What's it called again?
R8 roll recovery. It's like it said medical grade on the box. I was like, okay, it's
medical grade, like weed.
Yeah, I feel like I need that to like wake up my left leg still to this day.
So
two decades later,
did you go through rehab and everything? And
I did all that.
Just didn't work.
So
as
listen,
good?
I recovered fine. Like my college career was totally fine.
But you just didn't feel the same.
I just did. Honestly, I lost the love of basketball. Honestly, after
filming girls.
that's all I had in my life was basketball. Mm-hmm. So once that was gone, even when I came back, I wasn't the same. So even though I had games where I was 25 points, 15 rebounds, like great games, winning all these awards, all regional, it just wasn't there anymore. Wow. And I had this camera that I loved to just have because that year off, I was able, my first ever film I ever did was I went around campus and filmed like girls and asked them who the hottest athletes was. And I felt like they gave me power. It gave me power like just to be able to, because back then that's when Girls Gone Wild was popular.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was 2000.
Girls Gone Wild.
Remember that?
Remember that?
Man, Girls Gone Wild.
Doug Stanhope hosted that at one point in time. Yeah.
That's funny. But so I graduated college in 2004. And I moved to Phoenix with my best friend, Mr. Organic, and he was out there just living, and I wanted to get out of my little town. So I went out there, and I kind of wanted to like take a year off and then try to play professional basketball because you either play in the NBA or you go overseas to play basketball. So I went to Phoenix with no idea what I was going to do in my life, and I literally started working at a call center. It was what was that old phone company that went out of business? I can't remember what it was called, but I used to just call people, collect, and try to get them to sign up for long distance, and then you get caught. Like I got called every word in the book every day, but it was funny. Like people was calling you the N word and everything, and you just laughing because they mad, right? And then you like convince some like 90-year-old lady to sign up for long distance, knowing it's illegal as hell. Like you just convincing this lady to sign up for long distance. But I was good at it though. I was good at it. So that was like my first job I ever had in my life.
So it's like one of them shady phone. They call you up. Like I get those robocalls.
Yeah,
those calls. You did that.
Like,
shit?
do you want unlimited long distance?
Do you feel guilty?
A little bit, but they went out. They went out of business like 6 months after I had the job.
Oh, okay.
And from there, I just didn't know what I was gonna do. And I had he's not my cousin, but he's like somebody we all call our cousins. Like black people, we call everybody our cousins. But he played in the NBA. His name was Troy Hudson, and he was from my town. So he was like the most successful person that ever got out of our town. He was, playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I reached out to him because I basically was like, listen, man, I need help because I want to play basketball again, but I don't know how I don't have an agent. I don't have anything. So he kind of invited us up to Minneapolis. That's the first time I literally went from Evansville, Phoenix to Minneapolis to try to pursue this whole basketball career. And I did that for like 3 years, like chasing it, going to tryouts, things like that, sending tapes to agents and things like that. And it just didn't pan out. Nothing stuck. I had opportunities. I just wasn't the same player. And I can admit that. And I'm comfortable with that because I know I had a successful basketball career. It just didn't go to to the level where I made millions of dollars. So after that, man, I was literally stuck. After traveling around the world, I ended up in Malaysia. I was in Australia trying to pursue.
Malaysia.
You don't want to know how I ended up over there?
I do want to know.
Man, this is funny. Only a few people know this story. So when you at your bottom, you try to find something for comfort. I've never done weed or anything in my life, but I was addicted to like online dating back then.
Really?
Yes, I was like trying to meet girls, like just to try to find some situation. I felt like, I feel incomplete, so let me like online date or whatever. And I met this girl, like one of my friends in Phoenix played basketball in Kuala Lumpur. So obviously you need a visa to go over there. So I'm thinking to myself, like, what's the way I could get over there to Kuala Lumpur and try to play basketball? So I was like, online dating. I don't even remember what website it was.
I understand. You're a good-looking guy.
I know.
How you not getting girls in America?
I do. But I'm just saying, listen, my whole point.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
My point was, I literally met this girl in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. She was from Canada. She was a singer over there singing in little military bars or whatever, little hot blonde or whatever she was. And I remember talking to her for about a month, and I convinced her that I wanted to come visit her. But my whole intention was, let me get over there, try to find out what this team is and see if I can like try out for them. Some crazy shit. You don't do that today. I did it back then. So I went over there to, I'm laughing because I know people that know me is dying listening to this right now. This is a true 100% story. I get over there to Malaysia with no money. I may have $400. I got people to pay for a ticket. Yeah, I'm going to Malaysia to play basketball. Just lying to people, right? So I get over there, this girl, I don't want to say her name. She might sue me. But she picked me up at the airport. She looked exactly like her pictures. Beautiful, from Canada, everything. So she take me to her apartment. She got this nice apartment. It's like in the jungle, Joe. Like I'm talking about the balcony. I seen like little monkeys on the balcony.
Whoa.
Yes, it was crazy. And then it's like a rainforest, right? And then in Malaysia, if you ever been to Malaysia, I don't know if it's like that now, the doors are high off the ground, like 2 inches. So it's like anything can crawl under the doors or whatever. So that's the first thing I noticed when I got to Malaysia. I was like, this is some crazy shit, right? We in the jungle and the door, like what about snakes or bugs? I remember asking these little kids when I first got to Malaysia, I was like, have you ever seen a snake like in this area? And it was like, yeah, I seen a cobra and all this stuff. And I was just like, holy shit. But back to her, she turned out to be a sex addict. Yes.
Congratulations.
Man, listen. Yo, this is crazy. Like, because this is way before I ever decided I'm going to do film for a living, right? Mm-hmm. I was over there. The first day I got there, like I had a good time with her. Then I, ended up having relations with the lady. And she turned out to be a sex addict. So, as a man, I just flew all the way across the world to see this girl. You sleep with her, and then all of a sudden, she want to do it again and again and again. And then when you like slow down, like, I just got here, she started crying and going nuts. And I'm in Malaysia. I'm like, I don't know who this girl is.
Oh, no.
Listen.
She's crying because you won't fuck her again?
Yes.
How many times did you fuck her?
About 2 times.
And she wanted to.
Yeah. 2 long times too. Like shit. Like it was crazy. So I am in Malaysia. I'm not in America. I'm in Malaysia. So the crazy thing is, probably after a week, she started to go crazy and complain about I'm not sleeping with her. I'm in my prime, my sexual peak, and you don't want to sleep with me. And I'm just thinking to myself like, I don't know what the fuck am I doing over here in Malaysia, like with this lady. So I ended up meeting this black guy that she introduced me to that was like a hustler in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And I started hanging out with him just to get out of the house. And
you're like living with this
I don't have any money to go home.
Oh my God.
So I'm just stuck in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Oh my God. With this beautiful girl that you have to fuck all the time.
Yep. First world problems, right?
Serious first world
And then she
problems.
started getting even bitter, like, I hate Americans. You Americans are so ungrateful. And all. I'm just thinking like, damn.
Wow, you're representing America.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, damn, I must have just didn't do it good enough. It's like I thought girls be lying then to me, right?
Well, maybe she's just extraordinary needs.
She was like in her late 30s, and I was in my early 20s. So
some girls in their late 30s, they hit this itchy peak.
Man.
They're just like all the time.
She ended up kicking me out of her house in Malaysia, Joe.
Wow.
Like I went out with Bobby one night, this dude. His name was Bobby too. And I came home and she said, your stuff is outside. Like she texted me. I had a little international phone. She was like, your stuff is outside. I'm thinking like, she was like, yeah, this is not working out. So think about that. Imagine being in another country and this is not working out.
No money.
No money. Zero.
Oh.
Not a dime. And the guy that I was with, I told him what happened. He was like, I'm going to take you over there, get your stuff. You can stay with me until you figure it out. I get there and all my stuff is outside. Everything. She's not there. She's done left or whatever. And I had some brand new Timberlands. Remember the boots Timberlands?
Sure.
Hey, I'm poor. Shit, I need them Timberlands. They in the house. I had them worn brand new. So I kicked the door down. Boom.
Oh, no.
Yes. Like I was trying to get in the door. I just kicked it. And it broke. Like the little handle broke. I got in, got my Timberlands left. I remember she texted me. She was like, hey, did you break my door? I was like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. I just left. So from there, I stayed with Bobby for like 3 weeks in Malaysia. I was hanging out with him every day, going to parties, and I'm like, bro, I got to get home to America. So I contacted one of my mentors growing up in Australia. He was playing professional basketball in Melbourne, named Rashad Tucker. Shout out to him. And I convinced him to get me a ticket to come over to Melbourne because I was like, bro, I need some money to go home. And he was like, nah, man, I'll just get you a ticket to come to Melbourne. I was like, bro, literally, like, I'm trying to go back to America. I don't know what to. But then when he sold me on, I was like, damn, I really ain't going back to nothing. So let me go. He was like, man, you can come over here and try out for the team. You can try out practice with us. And I was like, oh, that may be my opportunity to play professional basketball he's one of the top players in Australia. So I ended up in Melbourne. And I was in Melbourne for 3 months, not doing shit, but going out, practicing with the team. It was mid-season, so I couldn't like make a team because they was already, they thing. And then I ended up getting stranded over there too. Because he left me because he cheated on his girlfriend. And he had to go make up with her. So he left me talking about I'm going to be back. And then I was just stuck in Australia like, yo, bro, I need to get back to America.
No job,
no money, nothing.
Oh, my God.
He was like, I'm glad I was young when I did all this stuff. He was like, hey, man, tell one of them girls a sob story. They'll get you a... I'm like, a sob story? Bro, you have money. Buy me a ticket to go home. Man, I can't do it right now. I'm like, man. So I had to tell this girl a sob story. Her name was Deanna Kassar. I'm giving her a shout out because she saved my life. She bought me a ticket home. She went in her savings and bought me a ticket back from Melbourne to Honolulu to Las Vegas. And I didn't know why I chose Las Vegas, but I just chose to go to Las Vegas.
So you literally had zero money.
Zero money.
Job. How were you eating?
Shit, people that I was around, right?
They just fed you.
Yeah. Man,
Wow.
Sometimes you have angels in your life.
Yeah.
And I guess these people were angels because I was just telling Jamie, like, I just seen a documentary on homelessness. It was like 4 out of 5 people in LA County, paycheck to paycheck. I think it was like 8, or it's 4 out of 5 people are like one $400 emergency from being broke. Or it was like 80% of people live paycheck to paycheck. So I always tell people, like, when I'm inspiring people now, I'm like, bro, I was homeless once, because that's essentially homelessness.
Yeah.
If you ain't got an address, you can't pay bills, you're homeless.
Yeah.
No matter if you got a roof over your head. And I feel like people, you see all these beautiful moments that I do now, or what anybody does, and they don't see the story that ultimately led you. Like what ultimately turned to you doing what you're doing now. So after Australia, I went to Vegas. I was living with 2 strippers. Yes, I lived with 2 strippers.
Congratulations again.
Yeah, I lived in Vegas with 2 strippers that worked at the Rhino, the Spearman Rhino. I met them on Craigslist for rooms to rent.
Jesus Christ.
And I had enough money, like $600, to move into a room. So I literally moved in with these girls. And one day, have you ever been in the Vegas casinos? Because this is like the climax. You ever seen like the mega bucks slots?
Sure.
So one day it was Floyd Mayweather versus Oscar De La Hoya. So that was the year. I was in the Mirage, and I seen these 2 hot black girls. And I had like some money in my pocket, $100 or something. So I wanted to sit down next to them. So I went over there and sat next to them and was just, trying to shoot the shit. And I put a $20 in them slots because, you can get free drinks if you put in a slot. So I just hitting it, talking to him, where y'all from? Y'all going to the fight, blah, blah, blah. And then one of the girls was like, hey, you won. I was like, oh, okay. You know, you think you ain't winning no slots. Guess how much I won?
How much?
$9,000.
Whoa.
Swear to God. $9,000 till somebody broke.
Wow.
Yes, $9,000. So
When they give you that, do you pay taxes on it later? Or
yeah, I gave him a wrong social security number though.
You gave him the wrong social.
Yeah, I gave him the wrong social.
You could do that?
Yeah, because they just asked you your name and your social security number.
Oh, okay. Maybe you shouldn't have just told everybody that.
I don't know. They can't prove that I won anything.
They can't?
That was like 12 years ago.
They didn't have records back then?
No, I don't think so.
I hope not.
Nah, me too.
Okay.
Ain't nobody gonna watch this.
Nobody's watching this
Nah,
right
no
now.
one. This is nobody's gonna watch
Nothing.
it. So after that, I literally lived off that $9,000 for about the rest of the summer, and I ended up moving to San Diego after that. Like I'm skipping some stuff, but I moved to San Diego, and that's when my life changed because I lived in San Diego and was just partying.
What brought you to San Diego?
I met a guy in Vegas during the night of the Floyd Mayweather fight and just partied with him that night. And I just got his phone number one time, and then I was just, staying in touch with him, whatever. And then he was like, I live in San Diego. He's in the Navy, Dr. Bill. And I literally said, let me come out there one weekend. I was like, let me just come out there and kick it with you or whatever, because he was telling me how great San Diego was. And I went out there, and I didn't leave for 4 years.
San Diego's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love San Diego. But I essentially was doing the same thing I was doing for the past couple years. Lost. Because you got to understand, like, athletes go through this now. Like I just released the episode with Ron Bader on my channel, and I talked to him about that. Like when your sports career is done, a lot of people go to something else. They lost and things like that. And I was for about 4 or 5 years. And it wasn't until I lived in San Diego that I figured, I was like, man, I got to really do something with my life. I'm literally a failure. I have a college degree. I graduated from college. So it wasn't like, I just didn't want that responsibility of having to do a 9 to 5 or things like that. So it wasn't until I lived in San Diego that I literally talked to the guy that I was living with and was like, bro, I don't know what I'm going to do in my life, bro, but I got to figure something out. I was like nearing 30, and I ended up moving to back to Minneapolis, and I got a job as a teacher, like a teacher's assistant. They called it behavior assistant. I was like working with kindergarten kids.
Jesus.
Literally crazy life, right?
What a crazy life.
To end up where I'm at now to be on Joe Rogan, right? So it was March 3rd, 2011. It was like negative 20 degrees outside. I was living with my guy, my best friend, and I went to work that day, and it was freezing outside, and they literally still went to recess that day. I'll never forget that. They was like, oh, put your coats and gloves on, kids. It's time to go to recess. And I was like, what do you mean? Are we going to the gym or outside? They was like, we're going outside. I was like, man, these people in Minnesota crazy.
They're hard. Those are hard people, bro.
That was the last day I ever worked in my life.
You said, fuck this?
I can't do it, man. I was
You
like,
can't
bro,
be outside in that weather?
it was just the fact that I was like, what am I doing with my life? I'm working with the great rewarding job. I'm like, what? It's nothing wrong with me.
Right.
I'm physically able to do anything. I'm intelligent enough to do anything. I'm qualified enough to do anything.
You're a victim of circumstance. Things just kept happening.
Things kept happening. And a lot of it is my fault, like because you're just lazy, right? So March 3rd, 2011 is the day I said I'm quitting my job. I went back to my apartment with my roommate. He was pissed. He was like, bro, you always quitting jobs. And he was like, bro, what you gonna do? I was like, bro, I'm finna figure something out. I'm finna buy a camera or do something. He was like, yeah, whatever. And we literally was sitting in the kitchen, in this little kitchen on the floor talking about life. Cause I was just I literally mentally broke. I was like, bro, I'm just jacked. Like I gotta figure something out. Pell Grant was coming up. I was getting my tax returns back, and I had enough to buy a camera. And the first camera I ever bought was a Canon T2i. It was like $800, and I bought a lens, and that was it. That was it. It changed my life. And I literally spent like the next year shooting videos in garages, like cars coming up, filming the wheels, and I was just really, literally honing myself. Because back then, when I had a camera in college, digital cameras weren't even out until 2008, like these little new style cameras. So I had to relearn everything, and I relearned a lot from YouTube and Vimeo, and I was watching I had a creative eye and a mindset, so I was just like, I got to get the skill set. So I started doing rap videos for $50, $100, free, You know, I tell all these kids that message me now, like, bro, I spent 2 years doing videos for free, just trying to learn how to do this stuff. Everybody want to get paid for something, and I'm like, you probably don't deserve to get paid yet. So I had friends, shout out to Mac Irv, Mr. Organic, like I was shooting their videos for free and I was just getting better. I was just getting better and better and better and better. And then like 3 years into it, I shot a music video called Saks Fifth Avenue. And
so you're editing these as well?
I'm editing them, doing them all.
What are you editing on?
At the time, I was editing on Sony Vegas.
Okay.
An old program now.
I remember that.
It's popular now. It's pretty easy to use, and it was cheap to buy, like $90. So I was able to use that, like the movie studio version. It was, you don't get all the little tools, but you got enough. And I had this cheap laptop that this girl bought me. She lied and told me she was gonna buy me a camera, and then ended up buying me a laptop. I was pissed off, and I was like, she was like, listen. Like the most popular camera back in like 2011 was like a Canon 5D Mark II. It was like $2,000. I couldn't afford that. So I met this girl online, literally from Denver, Colorado, And, you know, you start your little love affair or whatever, you talking, you promising, and I want to see you. So one day she was like, I'm going to come see you in Minnesota. This is around the time I started. And she told me she was going to buy me that camera because I was telling her that's like my dream camera. And I remember my roommate, like I run in his room like, look, bro, look at this short film that was shot with this camera. I'm finna have this camera, bro. We finna do all types of things. So she like kept telling me she had the camera, So like the day she came, I picked her up. I had this little used 1992 Ford Taurus. It was blue. And I picked her up at the airport. I remember, I was like, where the camera at? Soon as she picked me up, where the camera at? She was like, don't worry. And I'm like driving thinking like, man, she ain't got this camera. She lied to me. She just want to see me, right? So we get to my apartment. And my boy, he anticipating it too. He's like, man, he finna get this camera. We finna shoot all the music videos, right? Because if you get this camera at this time, you shooting with a 5D. So I remember she was like, here's a gift. It's like she put out the gift, and I'm like, this ain't no camera box. It was a brand new laptop, and I'm sitting there complaining. I'm complaining about a laptop, and I already have a camera, but right. She like gave me this laptop, and I was just like, all right, cool. So she gave me the laptop, and I get the Sony Vegas program, and then I started editing with that, and I had that camera for about 2 years.
Where's that girl?
I don't know. There's a lot of that in my life. And I don't blame them girls. Listen, man.
Yeah.
I used to be one of those guys. You know them girls that's materialistic and they all about nice things and they like to travel. Or you ever date a girl and you like see her previous boyfriend and they be like, damn, they done went to like Napa Valley and fucking Vegas for her birthday or New York. Pressure. And you like, damn, I can't even take you to the movies. I'm like, damn. So for me, if a girl get tired of you, now they call it ghosting, right? They call it ghosting. But back then, ghosting, that's what ghosting was. It's like, oh, this guy ain't worth nothing. Let me get rid of him. So she left. She left. I had a summer job. My last ever official job was at 43 Hoops in Minnesota. It was a basketball academy where I was there with a lot of pro basketball players or semi-pro or guys that had college experience, and we just taught kids all the time. And I was getting paid, you know, $20 an hour, $25 an hour per session to teach kids. And I kind of made a ruckus there too, complaining about just, bro, we teaching 20 kids and I'm only getting $20. How much are y'all getting for all these kids, right? But I mean, that's just work, right? I shouldn't complain about a job. But that whole summer, I was just telling everybody in there, I'm finna do film. I'm moving back to California. I'm about to just do film. I'm about to do film. Because I had enough. Like, I was doing videos at that point, but now I have a part-time job and I'm able to do videos. And I never forget one day I was telling a group of guys in there, I'm quitting this job and I'm finna go do film. And I just remember the look on their face like, you know, like the boy that cried wolf. Like, whatever, man. You ain't gonna do anything. But that drove me insane, Joe. Doubt drove me insane. People
doubting you.
People doubted me. That's what I needed. I needed that fuel where people could tell me I couldn't do anything.
You needed haters.
I needed haters. And it drove me insane. And I went nuts. And I started shooting a lot of music videos. That any videographer out there that knows this industry, they know, like, music videos feed you. You make a lot of money. It's a recession-proof business. People are always going to need music videos, especially rap videos. And I got good. I got very good. I did a lot of high-profile videos. I made a lot of money.
Who'd you do them for?
I did music videos for, like, rappers like Chief Keef. You know
You did it? Yeah.
Yes.
You did his
I did
videos?
it. Yeah.
That seems like you'd have to wear a bulletproof vest to be around that dude.
It was a video called Traffic. You got to check that out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that. That's
they
you?
Wild on the streets.
Oh, I would imagine.
Wild.
They're legitimately wild.
Yeah, that was real gangster shit going on with the
Yeah.
Chicago rappers and stuff like that.
Well, that dude is like the king of that shit, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And he's
yeah.
only like 20, right? I think now he's like 20.
Nah, he probably like 23,
Is
24
he?
now. Yeah, they was kids, man. But I was shooting
Yeah.
a lot of music videos in Minneapolis, and I got popular because that's a huge music scene. It's a very indie, you know, Prince made it popular, but I think the hip hop scene is very enriched there. They just don't, they haven't had anybody like explode out of there. So I made a living just in Minneapolis, like shooting music videos. But after a while, I remember I was dating this girl, and this one lasted a bit. And I remember I used to brag to her, like, look at this music video. And she was like, you want to just be known for doing music videos? You want to be a guy that just do music videos? You need to do other stuff. And that's what woke me up. I was like, let me see if I can tap into my creative side and do other things. So I did like a film called like The Confessions of Skid Row. I literally went to Skid Row and filmed homeless people.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And
Is that available?
Yeah, it's somewhere on the line. Online.
Skid Row freaks me out,
Yeah,
man.
it was called The Confessions of Skid Row, and then I did. I was like, I'm gonna make this series called The Confessions, and then I did The Confessions of Gay Pride, and I literally interviewed this guy in San Diego about how when Obama passed Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Like I interviewed this guy, and he told me how he came out to his parents, and I'm like, I know my boys just look at me like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
Right.
these type of films. But I was fascinated by documentaries, so I was like, let me just do this type of documentary content.
Doing the one on Skid Row, did that have like an extra impact on you because you were basically homeless?
Yeah,
for all those
100%.
months?
I told the guy, I was like, I was literally homeless, so I know what you feel like. And I don't think people understand that. Like, if I look at my life now, I live in downtown LA, view of the Staples Center, things like that. Like, they don't understand. Years ago, I couldn't afford to live in a $400 a month apartment. You see what I'm saying? Because you didn't have any guaranteed income. And that's how it was even in the beginning of my film career. I lived out at, like, you know them shitty hotels? Well, they not shitty to everybody, but like extended stays.
Yeah.
I lived in extended stays for like 2 years. Literally, like, I was getting $400 for a music video from a rapper or something like that. I would use $200 of that for 6 days in extended stay because, you know, that was like $30 a night. It'd be nights where I'm like, damn, I got 1 day left. I got to convince somebody to give me like $200 to shoot a music video. So I was hustling, like reaching out to people on Facebook. Hey, man, you trying to shoot a music video? They not knowing I need this money to just live somewhere.
Wow.
So once I was able to sustain enough income, because it's just too long of a story, but I was able to really get myself to a point where I was making some money. I moved to Florida with my best friend Tone from Macedonia, 6'9" Macedonian mercenary. That's what he want to be. Like, he a crazy guy. Like, he wants to like go around the world and kill like drug dealers. That's literally, he's from Macedonia, man. They crazy, man. They crazy. So, brother Tone, I moved in with him in Boca Raton. And that's literally how it started. That's how all of this Anatomy of a Fighter stuff started. I moved to Florida, lived with him. I had a roommate, so it was cheaper to live. I went to Italy that year and shot a documentary, so I got some money from my guy, Bobby Jones. And I was able to have a life. I felt comfortable. I wasn't like, felt like a monkey was on my back at that point.
So you're getting momentum.
I got momentum. I had a lot of momentum at that point. About 2014, I was making money.
So when you were doing these documentaries, like Confessions of Skid Row and Confessions of Gay Pride, like what are you doing with them and how are you getting paid from them?
Just releasing them online for free.
Really? And
Yeah, I didn't get paid for anything. I paid like the homeless guy to let
Did
me
you put them
talk
on
to
YouTube?
him. They got to be on Vimeo. They got to be.
Why don't you put them on YouTube and get the ad revenue from them?
Yeah, that was back in the day though.
Are they out there right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, no, I have a great one. If you know Alan Watts.
Yes.
So it's called The Beauty of Nothingness by Alan Watts. If you put The Beauty of Nothingness by Alan Watts and Will Harris, you'll see one of the most beautiful homeless films you ever seen. That was like 3 years ago. I went to New York. I was here in L.A. I was in Florida. I was just sitting on the streets with homeless people talking to them for 2 days.
And is it Alan Watts' narration?
Yep. It's the beauty.
That's amazing.
It's the beauty of nothingness. It like won an award in New York.
Well, when I first saw, I don't remember what video I saw of yours that was first, but I was like, this guy's got an eye for shit. It's not the stand. You know, sometimes you could see videos and you're just watching a video. Like, okay, this is cool. I'm seeing how these guys are training. I'm seeing their lifestyle. I'm seeing, their family. But then you see one and you go, oh, whoever the fuck is filming this, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what I got from you.
Well, it's because look at all the shit I've been through.
Yeah.
You
for sure, but it's also your focus.
Yeah.
Like you have a vision. Like it's very clear that you're an artist. Like when you're doing these videos, it's not simply you're filming things. Like you're thinking about how to film it. You're thinking about the angles, how to edit it, what how to have people talking. You hear their voice while their mouth's not moving because they're talking from another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the
narration.
When you see things that where someone puts it together and like it makes it richer, makes it more interesting. And
Did you ever hear of a documentary called Hoop Dreams?
Yes.
It was that was my high school life. Like they were older than me, but when I was in high school, that film came out. That fascinated me, and I was like, I want documenting somebody for 5 years, follow their life.
Right.
I was obsessed. And then my favorite documentary of all time is Pumping Iron.
Oh, of course.
So when I saw that in college, I was like, I want to shoot documentaries. So I was always obsessed with documentaries. Like, I don't know if you remember, Banging in Little Rock?
Yes.
Woo,
yes. That was on HBO, right?
Yeah, Banging in Little, like all those, that's what I like. I don't like movies. I like documentaries.
Me too, man.
So for me, I've always was obsessed with docs. I'm like, if I can ever shoot a doc, I know where that passion comes from. So when I literally moved to Florida, like I literally just reached out to Shannon Briggs one day. I was like, because I was doing weddings and music videos, so I was making money, especially with weddings. I was making a lot of money with weddings because that's just, people get married every weekend.
Right.
Right. So, you can get, and if you get good enough, you can get $3,000-$4,000 a wedding video. So, I'm booking 2 a week. I started to get to a point where
Let's go, champ.
Yeah, that's the one.
I love him.
That's the one. So that was 3 years ago.
Did you ever see the podcast I did with him?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
it was called Portrait of a Boxing Gym. Yeah. So
nice.
like
he's a fucking character.
Who was the guy Deontay Wilder knocked out? Bermain Stervain?
Yes.
Stavern? Yeah, that was. I remember he was in there that day. So I used to do stuff like this before I ever decided to do Anatomy of a Fighter.
When you say who Deontay Wilder knocked out, you got to say everybody fought.
Yeah, that's true. 40 knockouts, 41
He's
opponents.
He's the craziest fucking record.
He
in the
knocked out
history of
Tyson
boxing.
Fury too.
Well, basically
10 seconds.
Yeah. He didn't get
That's
up.
my dream. Listen, if you ask me who my dream guest is on Anatomy of a Fighter,
Deontay.
One, I would love to do a behind-the-scenes fight companion with you guys. Just being here with the camera, filming y'all motherfuckers talking.
But that's what the fight companion is.
No. But out in the hallways,
no,
the breaks.
Because Eddie Bravo bring up some crazy conspiracies and
hopefully Eddie.
We'll all be rolling our eyes, and try to get away from.
Hopefully, I get Eddie Bravo on today with Cheeto Vera.
Yeah, you'll get him on. Yeah. Well, Cheeto's fight is canceled, right?
I know. So
are they trying to give him a replacement opponent?
I was hoping they
shout out to Cheeto Vera.
Yeah, I was. He loved your show, by the way.
I love him.
He's
a tough motherfucker.
He is. I was hoping
Sean
he got
O'Malley too. That was unfortunate.
I love Sugar Sean.
I love both of them.
I love how he taking it too.
Yeah,
he taking it because I've seen a lot of people online talking about are they gonna move the card to Anaheim now? It's like nah, they ain't doing that for Sugar Sean.
No. He got a tainted supplement.
Yeah,
it's these new studies or these new tests that they have. They are so fucking extensive. They catch shit that you did years ago.
That's crazy.
And if you took a tainted supplement with something that has zero performance benefit years ago, it can still show up in your system. Whereas they used to have it'll be out of your system in 6 weeks. Like especially talk to a gym professor. Like there's a lot of cheating in professional sports. There's a lot of cheating for sure. A lot of cheating in MMA. A lot. But less than there used to be because of USADA and Nowitzki and what the UFC's implemented. 100% there's a lot less. But Supplements are a dirty business. I know this firsthand from Onnit, from being one of the owners of Onnit.
Yeah.
And not even supplements tainted with things that are illegal. When we first started making Alpha Brain, we had it independently tested. We get all our shit third-party tested.
Yeah.
And we were like, what the fuck is this doing in there? We had stuff in there that's not supposed to be in there. Well, it turns out when you get stuff made, like say if you have you put together some sort of a pre-workout drink and you want to have vitamin B12 and all these different things in it, you get those mixed by a third-party lab. This lab mixes it all for you. But you don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Nah,
they're not
you don't know
cleaning
what
out
they're
their
doing.
vats.
Yeah.
They're not cleaning out their shit. So they might have been doing steroids right before they do your shit, and you're having to mix you up some creatine, and your creatine has ostarine in it, which is like
what is that?
some kind of steroid. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of steroid.
I was talking to the bodybuilder Mike Rashid about supplements because, obviously he a bodybuilder. And
Yeah.
he has a company. I think he works with Trifecta too or something like that. And I was just like, how does that happen? Like these tainted supplements. And I interviewed him about it. I'm going to release it one day, how he goes into it. But, with bodybuilders, they catch flack because they bodybuilders. You got to be on something. But these guys know they shit. He has a legitimate business. So
I'm sure he does, but most of them are on something.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get to the size of like a Lee Haney, you don't get that big without steroids. It's not a human size. When you get to like, just go back and look at like Franco Columbu.
Oh man, my favorites. Yeah.
Oh my God! But then you look at like Frank Zane. Frank Zane, you can get that body without steroids. That's possible.
What about Francis?
Francis Ngannou?
If he started to be a bodybuilder,
oh my God, he'd be gigantic.
Yeah,
there's
just naturally.
Freaks. There's natural freaks.
Kamal Usman is a freak.
Yeah,
like
Tyron Woodley's a freak.
Yeah, they freaks.
Brock Lesnar's a freak. There's freaks.
Yeah.
There's girls with giant tits. They're born with triple F tits.
Yeah,
this is how it works. Some guys have 20-inch dicks. This is just how the world works. Some people have big noses. The world's weird.
I wouldn't want to have a 20-inch dick though.
No, it's too big.
Nah,
imagine saying that.
I know.
It's too big.
Like
but
you
can't
brag
complain
about
though. You can't complain.
8 and 9 is good though.
But you know how many dudes are crying out there with a 3-inch dick? They'll be like,
I know.
17 more inches.
Yeah, that's
You're
crazy.
better off having a 20-inch dick than a 3-inch dick. Because you just find a girl who's had like 8 kids and just wreck her.
It'd be weird. Like, listen, you want to know another funny online story of my life? These was all in the past, but I remember dating this like older lady. And she was like, oh, I'm a freak. And I was like, how much of a freak she is? Like she went in her drawer and pulled out like a dildo that was like 20 inches.
Jesus.
I was just like a horse cock. And I was just like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? I did everything in my power to. She didn't feel shit. I got mines though, Joe.
I believe you. Hey,
there's some weirdos out there, man. We all weird in a way.
Yes, everyone's weird.
Listen,
weird.
Vegans are weird.
Yep.
People that say they don't drink are weird.
Yeah.
People that only eat nuts and berries are weird. We all weird in a way. Yeah.
Christians are weird.
You can't judge nobody. I'd be like, oh, I never smoked a weed in my life. But then I be online dating. That's some weirdo shit.
You've never smoked weed ever?
Never, not one time.
How come?
Drink a little bit, maybe 5 times a year.
How come you never smoked weed?
I had an addictive family. Like I seen it, and it was embarrassing and struggling. Like my mom was 14 years old when she gave birth to me.
Whoa.
And my mom's born the same month I am, so she was born May 3rd. I was born May 19th, so she could have had me at 13. Whoa. My dad was the same age, so I didn't grow up with any parents.
Right.
I mean, your parents, I hate hearing that, but I don't know my dad at all. I maybe have
know
two.
Mine either.
I may have talked to him twice. And the last conversation I ever had with my dad, he had got out of prison, and I was living with his mom, my grandmother, the one that raised me, and he like overtook the room that I was living in because it's his room again, like a grown ass man telling his son.
Oh Jesus!
And I found his porn tapes, and me and my best friend, like I was like, yo, you want to watch some porn? So I like went up in the closet, took out the tape, put it in, and then I heard him coming in the house, so we ran and put the tape back, and this is how precise he was with his porn, probably. He noticed some clothes move, so we like left the house. He came out the house. Hey, stay out of my room. I said, man, shut up. You're a grown man watching porn. This is my dad. That's like the last conversation I ever had with him.
Wow.
He's been in prison in and out of his life. That's the thing. It's like, listen, man, everybody can make a picture out to be poor me.
Yeah.
That's not me. me telling you all this stuff ain't poor me.
It's just real.
It's just life.
Right.
Right? Where I'm at now is beautiful. You know, I was filming videos to survive, and then I finally found something that stuck. I never in my fucking life thought it was going to be MMA.
That's
Never.
crazy.
Never.
So you saw people with addiction problems, and you just didn't want to have anything to do with anything.
Nah, I just thought it was. Luckily for me, man, I found sports in the 5th grade, and I just was. I have an addictive personality, whether it's masturbation or anything, right?
I have a very similar situation.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I seen one of what's fascinating about this podcast is that if you go to your channel on YouTube and you go to click Otis videos, that's why I'm not in a rush for anything, because everything takes time. I looked at like one of your podcasts with Eddie Bravo, like 3 hours long. It got like 11,000 views.
Oh yeah,
yeah, like 20,000
People
views.
always want to say like, "Hey, how do I get paid from podcasts?" I'm like, "Do them for 6 years."
Yeah,
I didn't get paid at all for years. I mean, this podcast is almost 10 years old, and I didn't really start getting paid until like 5 years ago.
And it's fascinating to see that. Like, you go look at your oldest videos, 20,000, 30,000 views.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, MMA fans are fickle, right? They like who they like. They don't like they like. It's only about 3 or 4 fighters that can get a lot of views on YouTube.
It's that way with everything.
That's what I'm saying.
Comedy. It's that way with
and people are fascinated. Like, I'm lucky enough to know a Khabib, right? Or somebody like that. Like, I didn't know who this guy was until Rashad Evans was like, yo, let me introduce you to my guy, Ali. And then I met Ali filming some Renzo Gracie stuff for him. And he was like, yo, I like you, man. Let me put you together with my fighter. You know who Khabib is? I was like, is that the guy that fought Michael Johnson? I didn't know who Khabib was. He was like, I think y'all would be a good fit because the way you do stories and stuff like that, I think he'll like you and you'll like him. And I literally met him of January of last year, of 2018, in Boston. And when Francis was fighting Stipe and Volkan was fighting DC. And that was the first time I ever met Khabib, and the rest is history. I filmed him up there. He was finna fight Tony. Then I filmed him doing the whole Conor fiasco a la Quinta. Then I went to Dagestan.
What's that like?
Intense. But it was beautiful. Because people tried to scare me when I was supposed to go to Dagestan.
Who?
Like, I got people in the UFC that was like, yo, be careful over there. I'm thinking like...
People that work for the UFC?
Yeah, just saying like, be careful. Like, and I'm thinking to myself like, in my DMs on Instagram, like, bro, just be careful.
They don't fucking play over there.
I went during Ramadan last June, at the end of Ramadan. And
did you have to observe while you were there?
So Khabib wanted me to come during like the last tail end of Ramadan, right? So I went over there by myself, went and got my visa in Miami and went over there, just got my ticket. And I went over there. I remember the first day I got there, I was in like customs for like 2 hours because they couldn't speak English at this little airport in Dagestan. And Khabib was outside and he wouldn't come in the airport because he's too famous, right? And this is in the middle of the night. And I remember when I first got there, it was just checkpoints everywhere when I got there. Like, we like drive down the street, person with some guns. I'm like, all right, cool. I don't know where we at, but this is Dagestan. And I ended up getting to this. I stayed at his uncle house, I think, and from there it was just a beautiful moment. The Dagestan Chronicles is my most popular thing on my channel, obviously, because it's showing Khabib in a way no one's ever seen him. I observed Ramadan the whole time I was there. I didn't eat. I didn't drink. I did exactly what Khabib and them did, because I think a problem with us a lot as Americans is we take our culture somewhere else. And I wanted to observe their culture and really see what it was like. And I was fascinated. I wanted to know why women covered themselves. And I asked all of those questions. All of that stuff is in the documentary. And now when I get all these millions of people watching these videos, the most common thing is like, where's the women at? And I'm like, why are these people so obsessed with where the women at? And I literally went into that. Like, I asked, like, when these women are married, you don't point a camera at these people. Like, I've seen women. You just don't point a camera at them. It's rude, right? And that's like
in their culture.
In their culture.
Did they explain this to you?
Yeah, they did. They did.
What did they say?
They literally just said, they look at like, I talked to a couple of them, a couple people over there, and they was just like, we look at our women as queens, and we cover them because in the Quran is, you know, the man is weak to the flesh, so they don't want their woman to be, you know, looked at by other men. And things. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So you just cover themselves up. And in our culture, that's, you know, that may be weird, but I respect it. Like, what they told me, it made sense. It literally made sense where it was just like, listen, we don't let another man look at our wife, right? I'm not going to bash on that culture because I feel like that's silly. A woman can do whatever they want to do. That's just how they feel. Like, I don't, you know? So, but I seen women. I seen some beautiful women too while I was in Dagestan. So it wasn't the fact that I didn't film any women. I seen women.
But they explained to you when you go here, you cannot film the women.
No. It was just, yeah, in a way. Like, just don't film another man's woman. Like, I think I talked to Chris Wyman once when I was at his gym when I was doing A La Cuenta. He went to Chechnya.
Yeah.
And he told me a story. I think him and Vordun went to Chechnya, and he was telling me a story of, like, he accidentally touched a woman's hand, and they, like, literally got on, like, you don't touch another woman. You don't touch a woman's hand over here because that's bad on her. Right?
Right.
And I was like, dang, that's crazy. You can't even, because he said he was just like reaching out, shaking people's hands, and then he human instinct, you reach and grab somebody's hand. And he just said, man, that's a different culture over there. A woman can't touch another man's hand. So
yeah, that guy from Chechnya, the leader of Chechnya, he's like really into MMA, right? He flies a bunch of people out.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is that I don't know anything about the guy or his politics or anything, but I know that he obsessed with fighting, right? I know Tyrone Spong been over there and Wyman and all these guys. I just met Nick the Tooth the other day, and they went over there to Chechnya. Him and the Mendez brothers.
To teach jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, they had. I think the Mendez brothers had like a
seminar or something.
Seminar. I did like a preview of Chito Vera, and he was talking about it in there. Like they did a jiu-jitsu match in front of some oligarch. Over there, like it's crazy, right? Like they flew him over there for that.
Yeah, well, he's got a lot of money.
Yeah. Hey, Anatomy of a Fighter needs sponsors.
Didn't he give Khabib like some crazy Mercedes when he won?
I think I saw that on Instagram. He got like a gift.
I think he gave him some crazy S-Class.
Khabib getting that Dubai money now, though. He always in Dubai.
Is he?
I mean, since his fight, he been in Dubai how many times?
What's he doing over there?
Speaking, things like that. I mean, when you one of the most famous, I think he's like top 15 and the most famous athletes now?
Well, for sure, and definitely the most famous Muslim athlete.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean...
And the only UFC champion that's undefeated other than John Jones, who should be undefeated if it not for that one fucked up disqualification.
After spending time with Khabib in Dagestan, like meeting his father, going into the mountains and things like I just don't see nobody beating him. I'm sorry what you throw at him.
In what way?
I just feel like just his pedigree of where he's from, it's nothing that's going to break that guy. It's not, you can't, what are you going to do? I just don't think it's nothing you can do. After going to Dagestan and seeing how those people live and how their code and their values of how they live.
In what way? What was so convincing?
Well, just how strict the faith is over there, right? And they tie in everything they do to their faith. It's sort of like how Ali was, like, I'm not going to lose because of Allah and things like that. And I truly believe after seeing like just the camaraderie over there, the gyms they train in, the mountains, everything that makes this guy, it's nothing in an octagon that someone is going to do. Like, that's going to beat Khabib. Like, everything can happen. A fluke can happen. We see it all the time. But I just feel like mentally, there's nothing that's going to break Khabib. Like, I feel like if he was ever in a situation where he had to tap, he wouldn't. Like, he would just have to put him to sleep because I just don't think that's possible. Like, to beat him. I honestly feel like Khabib can't lose. I just don't see nobody beating him. I've been in locker rooms of fighters and you got a butterfly feeling and things like that. Like when he fought Conor and I was in a locker room, Khabib was FaceTiming his people in Dagestan laughing, and Javier Mendez is like, let's get focused. Let's get focused. Let's get focused. Khabib is not caring. Wow. Khabib just ready to go, right? When Tony Ferguson was fighting Pettis, he like hit mitts with Javier, and Khabib just looking up to the screen. Javier was like, let's get focused. Let's get focused. Khabib don't care, man. It's a different level. He always said that's like his favorite thing. This is a different level. That's what I love about him, man. It's like people are obsessed with the fighter. I like Khabib as a person. And that's the thing that I get out of this Anatomy of a Fighter. It's like just hanging out with this guy. Like if you ever watch my series, I never really talk about a guy's fight coming up. Like if you ever watch Anatomy of a Fighter, it's not about your opponent. It's just about your life. Because I felt like when I created it, I felt like these organizations wasn't promoting fighters all the way. And they're going to promote the top fighters and things like that. But what about the guys that are 2-1 in the UFC, not ranked? Like they in the UFC, like they may get cut after a couple fights. Like what do they have left after that? And I was just like, let me create this series instead of a documentary and just continue to build this and follow these guys' lives. And that's all I really wanted to do. It was no hidden incentive where I was like, I'm going to make millions of dollars off this. I'm going to end up on the Joe Rogan podcast. It was like, I love following these fighters and telling their stories because it's sort of like similar to my journey. You know, these guys are, what was the guy that just fought Deron Wynn in Greenville, Eric Spicely or whatever his name was? He tweeted like, they got fighted tonight.
Right.
He was like, I had minus 270 in my bank account.
Yeah.
I've been there, Joe. So that's why I get the passion out of doing it, because I've been there with these fighters. At this point in my life, I've paid for fighters' flights in hotels because they couldn't get a hotel. Like these fighters know that. Some of these fighters know that, to where I'm able to help them. And I'm funding this all on my own, breaking myself. So I'm just thinking on myself like, you doing this for a specific reason. You passionate about it and you want to tell these guys' lives. And I just really wanted to offer another glimpse into fighters' lives other than Fight Week.
And are you getting paid from the YouTube revenue?
Yeah, my account is monetized and verified. Yeah, monetized and verified. And depending on a month, it can be a good month or it can be a bad month. It's surprising to me I haven't got a sponsor yet, like as popular as the channel is, but it is what
Maybe
it is.
Get one now.
Probably. Who knows? I mean, shout out to like people like 8 Man Strong. Like, you know.
And that's Ryan Bader's company.
That's Ryan Bader. Shout out to Adam, the owner of it, and his brother. Like, they was the first people to ever send me stuff, like T-shirts. I was just happy. I was like, damn, I got some free gear, right? Like, man, finally. I remember seeing they shirts back when I first started with Kamal Usman was wearing their stuff. And, you know, companies like that, you get money here and there from them, but, like, to sustain this, like, remember Fightland? Remember the show Fightland?
Yeah.
I heard they went out of business because of funding.
Wasn't it Vice?
Yeah, something like that.
A Vice company?
Because
I doubt they went out of business because of funding. Vice probably just decided to stop doing it.
Listen, Joe,
right?
You travel.
But Vice is $1 billion company.
That's true. What were they?
I believe Fightland is a Vice show. Wasn't it? Well, let's find out.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Fightland was Vice.
If you flew to Phoenix for 3 days to do comedy, and get a hotel, and you know how expensive flight and like. So imagine me funding this on my own if I want to go somewhere for 3 days.
Well, especially Dagestan.
Yeah, shit like that.
And where are you staying when you're in Dagestan?
I was staying stayed at Khabib's family house.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I stayed. They put me like above a store, and he gave me a key. He was like, brother, lock this door at night, brother.
Jesus Christ.
He was like, don't go outside.
Oh my God.
I still went outside.
Did you?
Yeah, I still went outside.
Where'd you go?
I just was roaming, like walking around, just filming stuff.
What's it like out in Dagestan when you're roaming the streets?
Well, they never really seen black people over there. So I was like a little celebrity over there.
And you're a big one, too.
And they know I'm with Khabib, so I was cool with that.
Oh, so they knew that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
you know,
they're all
you
friendly with you?
Yeah, they was chilling.
Did they speak English?
A couple people did.
Yeah.
A couple people did.
Did they ask you questions?
Yeah, they asked me questions. They obviously, I had already been with Khabib at that time. You know, that was past the Conor McGregor fiasco. So,
right.
You know, my channel get popular because of something like that. And they just watch anything Khabib related. Khabib got some crazy fans, man.
And how many people live in Dagestan?
Man, I don't know. Jamie, pull that up.
I saw, did you always want to say that?
Yeah.
I saw some of the videos of people celebrating when he won. It was fucking crazy, man. The streets, nuts. They're honking their horns and
when he won the title, or when he beat Conor?
When he beat Conor.
Yeah, that was crazy.
2.9 million. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, it's it's a city, but it's essentially like nestled in the mountains.
Yeah, it's big.
The mountains are like right next to it or something?
Yep.
Like sort of like Denver?
Well, when we went to his mountain village, we had to drive like 2 hours to get there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like we had to go on the borders of Chechnya. I had to get another visa.
Oh, wow.
Like just to get through that checkpoint. I'll never forget, like we got to the checkpoint and we had to all give them our stuff. And then Khabib was like, get out. And the dude was like, get out. The army guy with his gun. And then I get out and I come around the car and Khabib is like, get your camera, brother. Right? And then he was like, they want to take a picture with you with the camera. I was like, oh thank God. Like, what the hell y'all about to do?
Yeah,
I caught like a bad case of diarrhea while I was over there because I was eating nothing but meat. I was trying to do keto while I was over there. And listen, the toilets are just a hole in the ground.
Do you have to squat?
Yeah, you got to squat and pull a string or whatever.
Oh, Jesus.
So I remember like we was driving from his village that was like my last night there. And I was destroyed. I was like, and we got 2 hours. And
no.
we like stopped a couple times to eat and pray and all that stuff. Like, you know, I remember like I was suffering and Khabib like filming me with his phone laughing. Look at his brother. He's about to shit himself. And I remember getting back to the place where I was standing in Dagestan. Oh my God. I probably lost like 8 pounds. It was crazy, man. It was a crazy experience, man. It was a crazy experience in Dagestan. That's life-changing. It changed my life.
How long were you there for?
9 days.
Wow.
It changed my life.
Really?
Yeah, because when you in this type of industry, everybody materialistic. We all want nice things. We want to live in nice places, want to drive nice cars. I do. Most people do. Want to live nice and comfortable. And I saw just how happy these people was just living their lives. Like I went to his village. I went to his mountain village, and I was in his city. And I saw these people were just happy. And maybe on the outside they was happy, and maybe they was dealing with other things that we don't know about. But I saw familyness, brotherhood, and I had a little bit of respect for their culture. Like obviously with Islam and things like that, there's so many different sects that makes it bad. Just like with Christianity and people in the Catholic community and the priest and everything. Sure. And that's my experience with the Islamic community, being around Khabib. So that's the only thing that I can go off of. And obviously everybody see Muhammad Ali and he praises and things like that. But I had a newfound respect for just the simpleness of that. Like Khabib, I thought honestly Khabib was going to retire after he fought Conor, because I talked to him a little bit about that. And because he don't want much.
What did he say after the Conor fight?
No, before the Conor fight.
Before?
He was just like, what do you think about me retiring after the Conor fight? And I was like, man, you do what you want to do. I can't tell you. He was like, I mean, I'm going to have money. What else do I need to do, right? Because he obviously knew that was going to be the biggest fight ever. So
how much did he make for that fight?
I don't know. Well, remember they took his check, right? But obviously he got a lot of money for that.
Yeah, they gave him a
Conor, I think Conor had $4 million check.
Yeah.
And then Khabib had a $2 million check. And then obviously they had the pay-per-view points.
Right.
So I was like, damn, where my money at? I promoted the thing.
You should have definitely gotten paid for that video.
Listen, you know what's funny is that somebody asked me it was like, if you got anything out of this whole thing, what would you want? I'd be like, a camera. Let's get a new camera so I could shoot some movies or something, right? That's literally the low expectations I had out of making the series, right? Especially when it was a documentary. I was just like, man, maybe I make this documentary, put it on Netflix or Amazon for free about fighters. And now looking back on it, the stuff that I have captured on them hard drives, I can sell a documentary for millions of dollars, I think. I got amazing footage. I got the whole Conor thing that I got, like that tape is like 20 minutes. Nobody's ever seen it. I have it. No one's really seen the whole thing. Like I got Conor when he first ran down the tunnel, like because I seen him from a distance.
I wonder if the UFC would be against you putting that out or pro you putting that out. Because
I put it out on my channel, a snippet, and then at the end of it, when it happened, I was like, watch the full episode on Embedded, right? I gave them their just due. Right. And then they literally told me like, oh, we'll give you credit. I never got credit. I was just hoping they put shout out to Will, Anatomy of a Fighter, for helping us get this footage. I never got that.
They should have. Either way, you're getting it now.
Yeah. So here we are, man. And, you know, like going from the first day I walked in that gym and seeing Kamaru Usman to filming him for 2 years and all the way to the title. When, you know, I used to post videos of Kamaru Usman on the channel. He'd get 4,000 views and people like, why you posting this bum? I'm thinking to myself like, these fans are crazy.
You can't pay attention to that. Those are just
it's hard.
Those
Joe.
aren't even the fans.
It's hard. It's trolls.
They're tiny. It's a tiny amount of losers.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's all it is.
Because I love the MMA fans. Listen, like I'm close with a lot.
We were talking about that the last time you were here. We were talking about the comments. You can't read it. You can't. It'll drive you fucking crazy. Because the people that want to comment, that want to fuck with you, it's the smallest number, the loudest, the most vocal, and they have the shittiest lives. No one with a good life wants to do that.
Yeah.
No one who's happy and healthy wants to fuck with you and say
it's
nasty
crazy
shit.
when you put your time and effort into something. Like, say for example, I flew to Phoenix, filmed Shine and filmed Bader, and then you spend all these hours, 10 hours editing something, and then you put it on, and then somebody like, that dude sucks. It's like, damn, man, is you appreciating what I'm doing, or are you just trolling?
You're talking to morons.
Yeah.
I mean, you're reading the thoughts of morons. You're reading the thoughts of limited minds. That's all it is. It's really that simple.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Anybody who thought that Kamaru Usman was a bum, I knew Usman was a murderer years ago. I saw him fight years ago. I'm like, nobody wants to fight that guy.
I know. I used to love taking snippets of your podcast, your voice, because you just that narration voice, and putting it with stuff. And like, you can be like, oh, that was a universe pulling us together. But no, I just was like, this goes with this.
Yeah.
Like I like when you and Shab are together, I love that because y'all able to bounce ideas. Because obviously his experience with the fight game and then your experience with the fight game, y'all able to bounce debate and things like that. And I'm like, that's a good mix. Like a lot of people go in on the episode I did of the weigh-ins with Conor and Khabib, and it was like you and Shab talking. And that's just the narration shot of how I do film, because that's what I love about sports documentaries is narration. And that's how I get it. I get so many people that's like, oh, I'm trying to do the same thing you doing. And I'm like, don't try to be Anatomy of a Fighter.
Right.
Like if I'm filming one fighter, it's 1,000 other fighters. Not just, I don't want to just do UFC. I want to do Bellator. I want to do one. I want to do boxing. That's why I was trying to say earlier. My goal, I would love to do an Anatomy of Deontay Wilder.
I bet you could do it.
I had Andy Ruiz, and
really?
And it did. So what happened was Mike Rashid reached out to me and was like, "Hey, do you want to do Andy Ruiz?" I was like, "I'm thinking John Ruiz, right?" So I'm like, "Junior, like junior or senior, right?" And he was like, "No, the guy that replaced Big Baby Miller." And that's one of my good friends, Big Baby Miller. And he was like, yeah, man, he's fighting Joshua now. He got a good chance. I posted on my Instagram like a text message from him. He was like, man, it'll be a good opportunity because I think he can really beat Joshua. And he did, and I missed out. See, those are the moments like the Conor Dolly thing. It's key moments in film, like this viral nation that you need to that's why I film everybody. I film these guys that's not popular, things like that, because these guys may be the champions one day. Sure. And I want to be like, I was there at the beginning. That's the thrill you get out of it, if anything, right?
Yeah.
And I filmed the Cejudos. I filmed the Usmans. I filmed the Khabibs. I've been in locker rooms with the title winners. I've been in there when Volkan lost.
Well, you were telling me some great footage that you got that you wouldn't have gotten. That story wouldn't have got out about Cejudo. About Cejudo coming back from the Olympic gold medal, winning the Olympics in wrestling, and then fucking living in the gym to win the Golden Gloves.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
I never knew that. That's the ecstasy I get out of filming these guys. Like you hear these little stories. Yeah. And I was like, you never talk about that.
Right.
Like, he's running with the whole heel of the gold medal thing.
Well, he's doing some weird shit now. He's calling himself the king of cringe.
King of cringe.
What is that about?
Well, because people was calling him cringy. Like,
why is he listening?
You know how they rake on Luke Rockhold?
Because he's like Triple C now.
Yeah.
I'm now Triple C.
He's running with it. He like the Mexican Kobe Covington.
Well,
he better be careful.
What he is a fucking beast.
He a beast, though.
His mind is just unstoppable. The fact that Marlon fucked him up like that in that first round and was chewing his legs up.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I did not think, and it looked like he was going to get KO'd. It looked like he couldn't close the distance. Marlon looked calm and comfortable and super professional. And then a switch flipped, and then the second round came around, and Cejudo's just walking him down and closing the distance. Then he gets him in the clinch and lands knees. I'm like, this is like a fucking movie.
That's Eric Albertson and Santino DeFranco and all those guys over there.
That definitely has something to do with it, but those guys, also Cejudo.
Yeah. You know, when he lost to
special athlete.
I did not know when he lost to DJ. Cejudo was lost. He went on a whole world tour to find himself. He went to Thailand. He went to Brazil. He was training everywhere.
After he lost to
After
DJ.
he lost it the first time.
Yeah.
And those are the stories right there. Like, he felt like as he needed to get better as a martial artist.
Well, he did. I mean, with DJ at the time, it's arguable now who's the best. It's like him or John, right? Now he's at ONE FC. It's a totally different ballgame. But what DJ was the most complete package we'd ever seen. the guy who you couldn't hit, who could hit you, he could wrestle you, he could submit you, he could strike with you. He had incredible footwork and speed. I mean, DJ was just perfect. And that night, he just found that opening, just fucked him up with knees to the body. I mean, DJ, man, there was moments in DJ's career where I remember watching him and calling his fights. I'm like, God damn, this dude's special. There's like something about what he's doing. He's so far ahead of everybody else in the division. So far ahead.
I think I'm about to go up to Seattle or Kirkland and do something for ONE FC.
Concentrate on Matt Hume. Matt Hume is a bad motherfucker. Oh, my God. He's got such a deep knowledge and understanding of the sport. You ever see him fight?
Nope.
Matt Hume stopped Pat Miletich back in the day.
I know Pat.
Who did he submit? Kenny Johnson? I forget who it was in one of those. They had a professional submission grappling pay-per-view event at one point in time. Frank Shamrock submitted Dan Henderson. And Matt Hume was a fucking straight-up killer. I mean, he was a really, really good world-class mixed martial artist back when nobody was. He had excellent Muay Thai, excellent submissions. He was good at everything.
How's the Seattle MMA scene?
Well, I mean, there's been great guys to come from it, like Josh Barnett, and of course, Mighty Mouse being the biggest one. It's not as big as, say, like Miami. Like where you're at in South Florida, that's the biggest.
Yeah, that was when I lived in South Florida. I mean,
Blackzilians and American Top Team all in one spot, and then a plethora of world-class jiu-jitsu around that area. I mean, and then also world-class boxing. Obviously, I mean that's where. What the fuck is his name? Sugar Ray Leonard's trainer, Muhammad Ali's trainer, the old guy.
Customato?
No. The old guy who said to...
I said cuss.
No. You're blowing it, son. What the fuck is his name? Old Italian guy. Fuck, I can't believe I remember his name. I can't believe I can't remember his name. This is embarrassing. Sugar Ray Leonard's boxing trainer.
Angelo Dundee.
Yeah, Angelo Dundee. You're blowing it, kid.
Yeah.
When he comes out and stops Tommy Hearns the next round.
That's crazy.
That was Miami.
Denver. So I'm not going to be in LA long. Like LA.
Of course not. You're a gypsy, man.
Yeah.
You just move around.
So my whole thing is, honestly, Joe, I want to settle somewhere though.
Where do you want to settle? Denver's a good spot.
So this is all I was going to ask you. So these are the 3 cities I'm thinking about.
Okay.
To settle for maybe a few years, 4 years. Back to San Diego, Denver, and Seattle. Which one should I choose?
I would say San Diego or Denver. I love Seattle, but that rainy season can suck my dick. You can't do it.
Yeah,
it'll drive you
tough.
crazy. When it rains for 7 weeks in a row, and you look out the window, you're like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
There's not enough online dating, huh?
You have the online dating.
Be sitting in there swiping left, right.
No.
Nah.
It's just vitamin D, man. It just ain't
It really
good.
is.
It's not good for your
I
head.
love San Diego. San Diego.
I love it.
Well,
I love San Diego.
I live in a nice apartment complex now, and the good thing about it is I can transfer. They have a relocation program. Like if you want to transfer 30 miles away, that you can do it for free. So I can choose those cities.
Oh.
So like I can just transfer to them cities, and I'm thinking like, man, I got to get out of downtown LA, man.
Downtown's gross. It's gross. It's not a real downtown. It's not like downtown New York.
It's like The Walking Dead at Ralph's.
Yes.
Bro.
Listen, I go there all the time. It's gross.
I went in there the other day, and I was going to get like some Quest bars, and I seen like this dude in the aisle, like, and he was like, "What's up, man?" And he had like a basket full of stuff, and then I look at him again. He just like opening up stuff, eating it. Like you go to another aisle, somebody just roaming with a cart, and these is all homeless people just putting stuff in carts and just didn't get kicked out by security. And then you see them in checkout, and you're like, this is crazy. It's every day.
Yeah.
Downtown is insane.
It's infested with homeless people. Like you can't fix it. Like the only way to fix it was
it's bad.
You'd have to take them, arrest them, put them in a plane, and fly them somewhere
And drop
else.
them off. But that's what I heard they doing.
I heard they did that to L.A.
Like dropping people off in LA?
Didn't we go over this? We went
Up and someone got sent to like Indiana
Yeah,
instead from
what?
San Francisco. Yeah,
We looked this up, and in fact, they've been doing that forever, sending people all around the country. There's whole flight paths of what they did with homeless people. They just send homeless people and let someone else deal with it.
Shit, they need to drop them off in Denver. I heard Denver getting bad too.
Of course, it's getting bad with that weed money, and now mushroom money, because now Denver decriminalized mushrooms.
Prostitution next.
Woo! Probably.
cheaper than dating
Look at
these
you.
days.
You excited?
Hey man, LA boy is tough. I'll probably spend a lot of money on first dates.
Yeah, I'm
It's-
sure.
You
It's a
want to
very
impress?
materialistic city.
Because it sucks to be a man in dating. Because
Does
you
it?
got to impress.
Well, if
I
you can
remember-
impress, it doesn't
Listen,
suck.
before I started making money and having money, dating was fun because you was broke and you can do smoothie dates and Starbucks dates, and then you was gonna spend $5-6 have
Well,
a
how old are you
conversation.
now?
I'm 37.
Yeah, you're too close to 40 to be doing that.
I know you can't do that no more. You got to take chicks to Palm Springs for the weekend and things like that.
Well, they want a nice
I like
meal.
that stuff now though.
Sure. Well,
I
they
like
want
that
a guy who could take them to a nice dinner and buy them nice
I don't
things. It's
fault
natural.
any woman that wants a man that has his shit together.
Yeah.
Because for so long I didn't.
Right.
And now I do. Now I want to have some fun.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
that. I ain't trying to complain no more.
But as far as like cities, the vibe, I love the vibe of San Diego and I love the vibe of Denver. I love those cities.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards back to San Diego because
Yeah.
it's still close to. Like I just drove to Irvine the other day. I was like, that was a simple drive.
Yeah. As
Like-
long as you do it early.
Yeah.
You try to do that shit at 4:00 in the afternoon, you want to shoot yourself.
Yeah,
in the
you
head.
would want to.
There's
But-
an Irvine Improv I work at all the time. Dude, when I have a 7:00 show, I leave here at fucking noon. And
What?
I'm not playing games. I leave here at noon. I get there early. I check in. I have dinner. I don't fuck around with that 4 p.m. traffic. It's insane.
It's nuts.
It took me 6 hours to get down there once.
When you went to Shop Show when he had his special, how
Noon.
early did
Noon.
Noon?
Noon.
Damn.
Got a hotel just to put my shit in. Checked in, checked out. I didn't even stay there. My daughter had an event the next day that I had to go to for school. So I
you
was
drove
there.
back
I
up?
said, yeah, I drove that back that night.
Damn.
After the show, after the second show.
That's an easy drive though. I remember
It's
when
not bad.
Yeah, especially late at night.
Yeah, you get a couple Red Bulls in you, you're fine.
Yeah, I got to LA quick once from when I lived in San Diego. I used my boy's truck. I met this girl online in the middle of the night and just
You
drove.
met a girl online in the middle,
middle
of the night. You
Listen.
with this online shit.
I know. If I ever was going to end up on a Joe Rogan podcast, I thought it was going to be for me writing a book
About online dating? Really?
Confessions of an Online Dater. I swear.
Well, you should do that.
My
Well, you don't need a book, but just do a video about it. Do documentaries about how crazy it is.
I used to film girls and interview them and everything
You
about
should.
dating, like what sucks about dating and
Well,
things like that.
Online dating is only existed for like at its rawest form 20 years. Right? Rawest form was 20 years ago. That was like AOL.
That was you. You was a weirdo then, though.
Oh, wow.
Now everybody listen. If you do Tinder or Bumble in LA, you seeing celebrities and everything on it. I mean,
Really?
yes, chicks, like all these successful chicks on searching for love. Wow, that's scary though.
Interesting. Why is it scary?
Because you don't know who you really meeting. Like for a woman, imagine being a woman
Oh,
and
yeah.
it would suck to be a woman and
That's
trying
got
to
to
date.
be weird. A successful celebrity woman trying to meet dudes.
You want to hear this story? And this is crazy. So I met this famous online female trainer, beautiful, here in LA. She's very popular. I ain't gonna say her name. I met her on Match.com, and I got her Instagram, and we exchanged our Instagrams or whatever. So I looked at her Instagram, and she was doing content, but on her phone, like in her living room, doing like squat jumps and things like that. And I reached out to her, like we set up a date. We gonna go hiking, running, do everything. And I was like, listen, I looked at your Instagram page and your content. I would love to be able to help you out and give you better content. She lost it. I don't need your help. I don't need your help. You look like you need to help yourself. I'm just telling you that I could help. I'm like, why? Like, I am a filmmaker. I could help you do some content.
Yeah,
like
she took it the wrong way.
She took it the wrong way. Like I'm probably trying to take advantage of her millions of
Yeah.
followers and things like that.
Yeah,
I was just
probably.
I was like, man, I'm gonna be single forever.
But I think sometimes that's also there's very limited communicating with people in a text.
Yep.
It's
And they
very
take it the
limited.
wrong way.
Yeah. You got to kind of meet people. Like but I bet if you met her and you said, "Hey, you're beautiful. You got a great body. These videos are great and everything." But I think I could make them even better.
Oh, she still would have took it the wrong way.
Oh,
she was like in her
that kinda girl.
40s.
Some people get set in
alpha.
their
She was an
ways.
alpha female. You know those alpha females that you can't.
Some girls have been fucked over so many times they think everyone's gonna fuck them over. It's like a dog that's been beaten. You ever pick up a dog from the pound?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've had dogs from the pound. You're
yeah.
like, hey, I love dogs. Come on, I'm not gonna beat you. They don't care.
It's nuts. So yeah, I would probably think San Diego will be the move, or Denver.
I like both of them, man.
I can't go wrong.
I think you can't go wrong. Well, you can't go wrong MMA wise. Like San Diego has Alliance. You know, San Diego has a ton of great jiu-jitsu. Shout out to my man Boogie at 10th Planet. And then
it's close to here.
Yeah, it's real close to here. But then Denver is the fucking shit.
Denver got a lot of gyms.
Denver also has really good vibes.
I'm finna do some stuff with.
I like the people in Denver a lot. I like the people in San Diego too. I'd flip a coin if I had to move out of LA.
I have no kids, so I could just flip a coin.
San Diego.
That's
We're
it.
going.
That's it, everybody.
Happy.
That's how I'm gonna do.
I would be happy. Either one. You can't go wrong. And they're both a good size city. You know what I'm saying? Like not too crazy.
Yeah.
Like San Diego is a great size city.
And I'm not a going out guy. Like I don't do clubs. You know, I'll go to a bar here and there.
Cuts into your online dating, right? Gets in the way.
Well, I don't know. I think in them early days I was in the clubs every day.
Yeah, that's a waste of time.
And a lot of years I wasted just partying, not trying to get my shit together. Yeah. So I feel like now, when it's different when you find a passion, man, and you get obsessed with it. Yeah. And I'm obsessed with this Anatomy of a Fighter thing. Like I have a post in my phone that I was going to show you where it was like August 22nd, 2017, and I had 54 subscribers. Wow. And I was like 46 to my first 100. And I was like, listen, it's not a lot, but I appreciate all the supporters that I have. So this is going to be one of the biggest MMA documentary channels in the world. And that was August 22nd, 2017 when I first started the channel. I couldn't even name it Anatomy of a Fighter yet. You have to wait till you get 100 subscribers. So like looking back on that journey and the sacrifice that I've made to like, I went from South Florida to Vegas, Vegas to Florida, Florida to Vegas, Vegas to Florida, Florida to here. And now here we are.
How many subscribers do you have now?
How many I got, Jamie? I think 238,000.
Beautiful.
Not bad.
I have a little thing in the back from when we had 100,000 subscribers. We got a little award.
Yeah, I got one too.
I was like, look at that.
Silver Creator Award.
100,000 subscribers.
That was my only goal with Anatomy of a Fighter. I have my friends have YouTube channels. And I seen what they was doing, and that was a goal, like the Silver Creator Award if you get 100,000. And I was like, maybe I'll get it in 2 or 3 years. That's what I thought. Like, and I can just do this on the side. And then once I started getting some traction, I was like, let me ease back on weddings. And I'm leaving guaranteed income and comfortability to put my time and effort into this, because now I'm like, I got 200,000 people following me. I can't go back now.
Right.
I got to continue to build this.
Well, it's going to be giant, man. You're really talented, and it's
I
really
appreciate
good.
it.
And what I like about this podcast, what I was hoping this podcast was going to be, is exactly what it was. I love to hear people's stories. I love to hear. That's one of the reasons why I like documentaries, because I think we can all relate to moments in our lives where we're lost, or we just didn't have it, or it wasn't, it wasn't where we wanted it to be, and we're trying to figure out, how the fuck do I get it together? How the fuck do I make it happen?
It's the real world.
It's
like
real world.
Instagram is fake. Like, you make it look whatever you want, but documentaries won't lie.
Exactly.
And that's the reason why I love doing that form of content, because it's just like, everybody, listen, one thing I've learned about the whole series is that everybody's not going to like a certain fighter. One fighter is not going to get a lot of views. Some people are not even going to care about that fighter, because that's just the way momentum and popularity is. But that's when I love it the most. Like, somebody asked me the other day, because I had posted a picture on my Instagram of the NBA draft. It was one player sitting by himself while they was interviewing Zion Williamson, all the media. And you know how it is in media day in the UFC, everybody got their name. Well, this guy was sitting by himself and nobody was trying to talk to him. And I said, yo, if you ever in this position, use this as motivation. And I think like Kamaru Usman posted, like, I've been there where nobody want to pay attention to you. So somebody commented and was like, would you rather film Khabib or a regional LFA guy? I was like, the regional LFA guy. I take pleasure in connecting with people just like me. I'm not popular. It was that picture right there. Like, nobody's paying attention to him. And that's how
I thanks. You just click no thanks in the pop-up ad. Yeah, that's essentially what they're saying about him.
Yeah.
No thanks.
So that's how I feel even in the media circuit with what I do.
That's how it is with everything, man. Yeah. I mean, I've been there as a comedian. I've been there in the early days of podcasting. You know, it's how it is. it's just life is a journey. And what I love about your story is that people can relate to someone struggling and then figuring it out.
Yeah.
And then it gives them hope. Like, okay, I'm struggling now, but if I just make the right moves and put the right amount of effort and focus and dedication to something, I can make something happen. Everybody can. I really believe that, and I love that. It's one of my favorite things. I'm a success junkie.
Yeah.
I love watching other people's success. I'm a big fan of other people
It's the
doing
greatest.
well.
Yeah, it's the
And I
greatest.
like helping people.
Yeah, listen. I've been in locker rooms when they lose, and I'm in there when they win, and it's the same for me. I feel bad for the other opponent. Like people always ask me, do you get any type of excitement out of filming guys win or not? Not really. I'm just telling the story. You have to be like that. Like Kobe Covington, Kamaru Usman. I would love to be neutral and film both of them and do a story on Kobe and a story on Usman. Like people always get mad. It's like, why don't you post about this fight? I'm like, I'm funding this myself.
Right.
I can't.
First of all, again, stop reading those fucking comments, dude. They'll change perception. So I've met people that have gone mad reading comments.
Yeah,
they go crazy. They think the world's out to get them. I'm like, hey, you got like 100 people that are talking shit to you,
and then you got 1,000
10 million or whatever the fuck it is that love you. Don't do this, man.
Yeah,
don't do this.
But I do wish I can't wait till I get to a point where I can have the resources to go film a lot more content because I love doing this.
Yeah.
Like I would love to go to when you had Khalil Roundtree on and I had commented on a comment on YouTube like I would love to do Anatomy of Khalil in Thailand.
I'll hook it up.
I would love to just go
over there. You want
to
go to Thailand? Do you know Khalil?
Nah, I never met him.
He's amazing.
Just go.
Dude,
but I ain't sitting on the edge of no damn buildings like he was doing. He's crazy for that.
He's crazy. But the transformation that guy's made as a fighter from when he went to Thailand, he's back there now. He's in Bangkok.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's a beast, man. That Eric Anders fight, I was like, holy shit.
And Eric is a tough dude.
He's as tough as he did. That was one thing Khalil said. He never even winced. I mean, he is eating leg kick after leg kick from a guy who kicks as hard as anybody I've ever seen.
That's crazy.
Khalil is so fast. When I was watching him throw those kicks, I was like, who is this guy?
He was brutal.
How did you turn into this guy? Like, you see his earlier fights and you see this.
So he beat Gokhan. What's his name?
Gokhan Saki, Gokhan Saki.
And then he lost, right?
Yeah, he lost to Johnny Walker.
And then he went and reinvented himself again.
Johnny caught him with an elbow in the clinch, man. He caught him with one of these elbows in the clinch, and he KO'd him. And, he just said, okay, I have to really learn Muay Thai. And so, fuck it, I'm going to Thailand.
I know.
So he went to Thailand, and I followed his Instagram journey. I'm watching all his training footage, and he just fell in love with Thailand. And then he came back, and I'm like, this motherfucker's fighting like a Thai.
I know. Looking like Saget from Street Fighter.
But like a jacked, muscular, 205 pound
He used to be a fat
Thai.
boy, too.
Crazy.
That's crazy,
and
right?
the nicest guy.
Yeah,
you couldn't get a nicer guy.
It's nuts to see that transformation, like to see him go from like this guy that was chubby and then this world-class fighter.
Well, does that too, but the difference between him and, it's hard to say, right? Because the Gokhan Saki fight was real quick. He just cracked him with the left hand, and Khalil's very fast. And then to see him getting KO'd by Johnny Walker. But then to see, I've saw his other fights. I've seen many fights of his, but see the transformation. I'm like, what the fuck? The kicks, man. It was the kicks. That he put it all together, and he was fighting Thai style. It's like he was one of the most representative of Muay Thai I'd ever seen in MMA. Because he just absorbed it, man.
What's better, the Thai style kickboxing or Dutch?
There's no better, man. The thing is, like, look at Ramon Dekkers. Ramon Dekkers went over there and he fucked everybody up in Thailand, and he was their size. It's the athlete, but it's also how they incorporate it in. But there's some great Thai fighters like where the fuck is I forget how to say his name. That just Doombay just knocked him out. Big time Thai fighter. He had like 200 pro Thai fights. He had so many, and Doombay caught him with in glory, caught him with a right hand in the clinch and KO'd him. It's like everybody's style, and Doombay's more of a kickboxer. It's everybody. It's the athlete, But everybody's style has merits.
Yeah.
Like there's merits to just being that wrestler who ground and pounds and doesn't throw many kicks. There's merits to being that jiu-jitsu guy that doesn't care if they get taken down. It's just like, who are you though? Are you Damian Maya on the ground? You know, I mean, if you're Damian Maya on the ground, there's merits to that style.
Yeah.
Damian Maya has strangled a whole lot of world-class killers that never even got a punch off on him.
Usman got out of that wizard. They broke it up.
they fucked David Maya.
Hey.
Nabalev is the guy he knocked out in his last fight. Doombay's a beast. Well, Cedric Doombay's an interesting guy, man, because he reinvented himself. He was more of like a runner. I wouldn't say a runner, but more of a mover, and he would win on points, but then he just, the last few fights, it was a couple fights ago, 2 or 3 fights ago, he fought, I forget how to say the fuck his name. Sidic, I don't remember how to say the dude's name. Thai guys have those crazy names. I'm finna do some stuff with Glory too. Glory's amazing, man.
Glory.
Glory does not get the respect that it deserves.
I know.
I'm a giant fan. I watch all the Glory events.
That's what fascinates me about what I can do.
Yeah.
Because people just think it's UFC. No, it's Anatomy of a Fighter is
sure,
everybody.
Boxing, anything.
Yeah, it's all of that.
Cedric Doumbé. If we concentrate on that dude, he's my favorite.
Cedric Doumbé.
Poof.
Yeah.
He's so
Kickboxers
good.
is, man.
He flatlines everybody. He's gone there it is. Sitsong Pinong. That's it. Tong Chai Sitsong Pinong. Say that real quick.
Tong Chai Sitsong
So
Pinong.
go back to his that. So that guy that he fought, Tong Chai had like, hundreds of fights. I don't know how many fucking fights he had total. It was more than 100 Thai fights, and then a shit ton of...
Look, 136 wins.
Yeah, 175 fucking fights.
I'll take 39 losses if I've won 136 times.
Yeah, he fought 175 times. That is insane. So, I mean, he's got that Thai style where Doombay's more of a kickboxer style. And a lot of times people say, well, they prefer the Thai style because the elbows and the clinch and the knees, but Doumbay flatlined him. It's the athlete. It's the way they incorporate their style competing against the other style. And there's merits to kickboxing. I prefer the Thai style because I think there's a real benefit to being really good at the clinch.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to MMA. Real good at the clinch, the knees to the body, the elbows in the clinch. And kickboxing doesn't allow elbows or knees to the body. But we've seen world-class kickboxers that have come on like Crow Cop. Have had tremendous success in MMA, going from kickboxing into MMA.
I always wonder what somebody like Ray Sefo and them would do in their prime in MMA.
Well, look at Mark Hunt. I mean, Mark Hunt's had a tremendous run, and Mark Hunt
he fought Ray Sefo, right?
Yes,
he did.
Yes, he fought Ray Sefo. I mean, when you go back to Mark Hunt really. I mean, when he won the K1 Grand Prix was probably when he was in his prime as an athlete. And then he fought a lot of fights in Pride. So by the time we got him in the UFC, I mean, Mark's in his 40s now, right? I mean, I think, is he retiring? He just lost his last fight, right?
Who he lose to? Willis?
Yes. He lost to Willis.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
I don't think he's retiring, though.
I don't know, but he's probably close. You know, I mean, he's had a long career.
When I was living in Florida, like my home gym is Hard Knocks 365. That's where I started.
That's Henry Hoof's gym, right?
I love that guy. That's
He's
like
great.
my big brother, man.
I love him. He's a great trainer.
He needs a platform to tell his life story because it's crazy. Henry Hoof he just got back from Thailand. He went over there. He told me, he's like, I just got away from the game for a couple weeks, and then I came back refreshed. Because, he's a beast. Like, I wouldn't want to get caught in the alley with Henry Hoof.
No, he's a big fella, too.
Yeah, he's tall as me. Yeah. He's going to kick your damn knee out. Like, that's just how he is.
Yeah.
I done pissed him off a couple times. He done kicked me through the cage.
Why?
I just complaining. Complaining, hey, Hoof, man, these people didn't pay me enough. And he quit complaining. Fell back. I was like, damn. I was holding on to the cage. I'm like, Hoof is a bad man, man. You don't want to get on his bad side.
He's a great trainer.
But he a great guy. And I'm happy. Listen, starting this journey, I've seen so many people say, oh, Hoof is a great coach, but he just can't coach a champion. And just to see him grind and but he has champions. He has Ong and ONE FC, the double champion.
Yes.
He had Michael Chandler, done won the belt a couple times.
How do you say Ong's first name?
Ong.
Silent.
N Song. How you pronounce it? I don't know. That's what I call him.
He's a beast, man.
He's a beast.
People are sleeping on one fighters, and I think when you see guys like Eddie Alvarez go over there and get KO'd, and you see a lot of fighters go over there and have Mighty Mouse had a real hard fight.
He did. That wasn't an easy fight. I love Chatri too.
I love Chatri as well, but it's a different world when you're not cutting weight. It's a different world. You know, those advantages that you have of being big, they don't exist anymore. Yeah. You're now fighting someone who's your size. I think it's better.
I'm a gypsy. Hey, I would love to go live in Singapore for a year and just and just film one FC guy.
Well, maybe Chatri, if you're listening, if he hears this, maybe he'd have you come down and do that.
I talked to the executive producer of content. They want me to do some stuff for him though.
It's changing the landscape of MMA because it is literally larger than the UFC worldwide because of Asia.
All the millions of views, millions. Oh my God,
millions and millions.
Imagine if I got the Asia market on Anatomy of a Fighter with them subscribers.
Oh my God! And then, the good thing is you wouldn't be able to read the contents.
Yeah,
the comments. The comments would be all in Asian. You'd be like, I don't know what the fuck they're saying. Great.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you. Appreciate
it. That's what you should do. Just don't fucking read them, man.
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough.
No, it is. It draws you in. Yeah. But you'll be healthier and happier.
You get it. Like I had got addicted for a minute. Like when the Khabib effect and Conor effect is real, and you post a video and you get 100,000 views within 4 hours, you like, it's gonna be like this all the time. Then you post, shout out to my guy Desmond Green. A video of him and it's insightful and it's talking about some stuff and it get 5,000 views.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like that. It's like a high, right? And it's like, I got away from it though. That's the reason why I was like, you know what? I started thinking about a lot of stuff in the past month where I was like, man, I just need to move somewhere, live a normal life and film. And I can go fly somewhere, come back home, live in Denver, live in San Diego and just be away from popularity and materialism. And that's the thing. It's like, I just want to stick to building this however long it takes. Like I said, if I look back on your channel and I can imagine where this could be in 6 years.
Yeah.
Imagine where it could be.
Yeah. No, it can be gigantic, especially when you think about the fact that you have so many different arts and different disciplines to study. Muay Thai, kickboxing, Dutch kickboxing, boxing, jiu-jitsu. I mean, there's so much you can study and so much you can watch and so much you can learn. Are you going to train yourself?
Kamal Usman told me I should go over to Undisputed and or Unbreakable.
Unbreakable in
LA? With Glazer.
Why not?
And just throw some hands.
Well, just do something.
I don't know.
It'd be fun. You've built for it. Shit.
Yeah.
You get that long.
That's these shirts, man. They make you look good.
8-pants strong.
Yeah.
Well, you obviously work out.
Yeah. I work out every day.
Yeah. So
every day. But you know what? I read a whole thing on Runner's High yesterday because I was like, I want to get back into running.
For endorphins?
Yeah.
But you're heavy, man.
Yeah.
How much do you weigh?
230.
Yeah, that's the thing about running. Like, I really think that a lot of people overdo it when they're larger people in the beginning, and I think you really should make sure you get someone who shows you.
A mile a day is fine. A couple miles a day.
Yeah, sure, but make sure you don't run on concrete, man.
Treadmill.
Yeah,
I'm a swimmer though. I haven't since I've been in LA, but in Florida I swim every single day, every day.
Have you ever used one of those Life Runner treadmills? Those ones you self-propel? We have one here.
Oh yeah, they have them at the Institute too.
Yeah, what is it called? Not Life Runner. I made the wrong word.
They have them at the Institute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Air Assault. It's like an Air Assault. The Air Assault bike, the same company.
Okay.
They make that treadmill. It's the shit. It's literally 13% harder than regular running. So it makes you better at regular running.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Assault Air Runner. Yeah.
Assault Air Runner.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to get back into running though.
Yeah, I'll show it to you when we get done here. But it's really good because it's self-propelled.
Yeah.
You're pushing it rather than because with a treadmill all you're doing is like lifting your leg up and putting it down. You're not really propelling yourself forward. You know what I'm saying? Like the belt's moving, but this you have to make the belt move.
Yeah.
And so when you're making the belt move, you're actually pushing with your legs and strengthens your legs up. I prefer it.
I be afraid to do anything at my age. Where I be seeing these basketball players just tearing their Achilles by just stepping. I'm thinking like,
yeah,
man, that's tough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to get kicked in my left knee right now. But I have I study things that I film, right? And I just be like, especially like Henry Hoof, I'll look at all his leg kicks when he's teaching leg kicks. I'm like, if I ever get in a street fight, I just need somebody to properly teach me how to kick in that leg. I'm disabling whoever in my face. That's the first thing I want to do is kick you in
their
your
legs,
leg.
yeah.
I'll punch you in your face. I'm athletic enough to beat your ass. But I'm just saying, like, it's the wrestling that's going to get you, because most fights end up on the ground, so you got to know what to do when you tussling with some.
When you go to 10th Planet tonight, just ask him to show you some shit.
Yeah. I might get Eddie Bravo teach me. Or choke. With a choke.
With long arms are great for chokes, man. Great for chokes and darces and arm-in chokes.
Because look at John. John, my height.
Sure.
Like, I've been around John, and I just think, like, you see John Jones on TV, and then you see him in person, you're like, he a long motherfucker.
He's long. And
he will fuck you up.
The best at using it. No one's better at using distance ever than John.
He did did you ever see the video? Do you know who Dr. Bo Hightower is?
Yes.
Like, when he let John kick him.
He did?
Yeah, he just I guess he, like.
Why?
He just let him kick him, and John kicked him in his leg, and he just buckled. I was just like, oh, my God.
Why would he let him kick him?
I think he had reached the number of subscribers on YouTube.
Oh, jeez.
So for the
decided to be crippled.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, John is a beast. I met John a few times. I haven't done the anatomy of John Jones yet.
Is this it?
Yeah, watch this. It's crazy.
He's a big fella. He's putting his weight on it too.
John is crazy.
Oh boy.
He did it to another doctor too.
Oh my God, he's crippling doctors, and he didn't even hit him full blast.
Nah. But you know how weak that leg can be.
Yeah.
If you don't train that and strengthen it. How do you even strengthen that part of your leg?
You get used to getting kicked there. You develop all these weird veins too. It's real strange.
Nah, man.
You ever see Kevin Randleman's leg after he fought Pedro?
Kevin Randleman with the hair? Didn't he have his hair blonde or something?
Yeah, sometimes. Some fights he had crazy blonde hair, but
he had big legs though.
He was jacked, super jacked. But he fought Pedro Hizzo, and Pedro Hizzo fucked his legs up so bad. He had these giant like veins, like weird, like broken veins all over his leg. Randy Couture had him too, also from Pedro Hizzo.
I like Randy.
In all the years I've seen people kick legs, Pedro Hizzo probably kicked harder than anybody I've ever seen. I remember I watched him at Beverly Hills Jiu-Jitsu in the 1990s. He was kicking a heavy bag, and I was just like, what in the fuck? His leg kicks were preposterous. Just thunk. It would just bend that fucking bag in half, and you just think about what it would do to your leg. Pedro fucked a lot of people up. Pedro Hizzo was a fucking beast back in the day.
I've seen a lot of people get fucked up in the gym. I just don't release it.
Yeah.
I got a lot of footage that I can't ever embarrass people.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, I appreciate all the fighters that have let me document their lives, because they trusted me with the intimate parts of their lives. Like, I'm getting invited around these guys' kids, their wives. Like, you just don't do that.
Right.
So that's the respect level they've given me, to where they trust me that I'm doing well with the story. So I appreciate all
that. You have to take care of that.
Yeah, you have to hone it. Listen, when I first used to come into the gym with Hoof them at the Blackzilians, I remember Hoof was like, who the fuck is you? Who are you?
Right.
Like, what are you doing here, right? Like, you have to gain that. Like, I get so many fans be like, hey, do you think I could be with you at a fight week? And I'm thinking like, nah, man, you have to build your way to distrust. These managers have to trust you. Like, the gyms have to trust you. These coaches have to trust you. You know, some people you're real picky about what you film, and, you know, maybe it's 1 week after the fight. They know a lot of people watching your channel now. We can't release. That's how they was with Cejudo when Cejudo fought Marlon.
Yeah.
I had released a snippet of the episode that I was going to release, and it was like they was on the opposite sides of the cage at the gym, and it was like fight, and then he came out exactly the way he was going to come out with Marlon. But I wasn't paying attention. It was slow motion. He was just coming out. So Cejudo freaking out. Fight week, he like, bro, did you post this yet? I'm like, no. He was like, man, you got to take that down, because that's exactly what I'm doing with Marlon. And I was like, oh, man.
Well, what was he doing that was so unusual?
You know, like, soon as the fight started, he was going to come out in a certain stance.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to come out in a certain stance, like a little, you know, his little karate style?
Yeah.
And then he was going to actually do, I don't know what it was, but he was freaking out. And I was just like.
The thing about Marlon is a giant 135.
Yeah.
I mean, Marlon is so big. I don't know how much weight he cuts, but I know that California won't let him fight 135 again, because California has that rule where you can't hydrate more than, I think it's 10% or 10%.
So you can't blow back up.
You can't blow back up. So he did blow back up in a fight, and California said no more 135 for you. So it's very obvious that he's cutting a tremendous amount of weight.
He's huge.
He's huge.
He's built like a comic book character.
Yeah, he is. So I think think that he cut way too much weight, and I think that contributes to his demise in the second round because he couldn't take Henry out.
Henry was locked on with the knees.
Yep.
The knees. I was like, it's 10 knees in a row.
What was ridiculous, and he let him clinch with him like that in a way that you don't do unless you're tired. And I think he compromises himself. I think there's two things going on. One, I think Henry has a force of will that very few human beings could ever possibly understand. I mean, Henry has a self-belief and just a stainless steel will. That motherfucker just puts it on you. And I think Marlon outclassed him in that first round, but I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think he can keep that pace with that dehydration level and with what he's doing to his body to make 135 pounds. I think he cripples
So where does the
himself.
division go now since Henry is out?
Well, here's the problem. If he goes to 145, right? If Marlon goes to 145, then he doesn't maintain the same advantages that he has in cutting all that weight. Then he's the size of these guys. Well, okay, so he goes to 145. Just think about guys like Calvin Kattar that flatten Ryan,
can crack.
flatline you.
Yeah.
And he's tall and long, and that shit is not going to work on him the way it works on those 135-pound guys. It's a different world. You got Jose Aldo, you got Max Holloway who's walking around at 180 and getting down to 145.
Zabit. That's his teamate though.
What's that?
Zabit,
yeah. Oh my God, man, Zabit is a motherfucker.
That's a Shaolin monk.
Woo, he's amazing.
They're gonna make
He's
a movie
another
of
Dagestan
him.
guy.
They're gonna make a movie of him.
Of Zabit?
Yeah, he got a crazy story.
Yeah.
Like Shaolin monk type stuff. Sent him off as a kid type thing.
Really?
Yeah, listen, Zabit. I've never seen nothing like Zabit.
He's super
filming him
technical.
and training him. His English getting better too.
It is getting better.
Yeah, that's a good thing for him. Like I think he's the next. Well, man, there's so many stars brewing in Dagestan. There's just so many of them over there.
I'm
man.
sure. Well, if they have that mentality and they're that tough, I mean, there's just that breeds more people like that. Killers breed killers. You look at like gyms like AKA, right? You've got Cain Velasquez, Daniel Cormier, go down the line. Luke Rockhold, John Fitch, just Josh Koscheck. How many fucking killers have come out of that gym?
You got to see Khabib and them play basketball in Dagestan when I was over there. It's like one of my most popular videos where they play basketball, full game, hours of basketball, and then train for 2 hours. And no dribbling.
But doesn't Khabib have fucked up knees? What do you mean by no dribbling?
It's called Dagestan basketball.
Will they just hold on to it?
Like rugby basketball.
Come on.
Look at this. Look at
what
this.
the fuck
Watch
am
this.
I looking at?
It's the craziest
they
thing
just
ever.
hold on to
yes,
it?
Yes, and no, they trying to wrestle. They throwing you down like people are getting choked out. Like it's the craziest thing ever.
This is the most ridiculous basketball
look at
I've ever
Khabib.
seen.
Look at Khabib. Khabib's so sorry in basketball.
Well, JV loves basketball, so this is hilarious to JV.
This is crazy.
White Russian basketball.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Look at Khabib.
What happens when the ball goes down? They wrestle.
Yeah, it gets intense too.
Oh my God.
I played with them once.
Why don't they dribble?
I have no clue. Look at his dad. Look at his dad. Look at his dad. He intense too, yelling at him.
They probably play with a medicine ball.
No, they playing with a yeah. You said a medicine ball, heavy as hell.
That is so ridiculous. Watching people run around and play basketball
look
without
at him.
dribbling. That is hilarious.
Look at Khabib. Look, Khabib scored. Look. He looked at me. He pointed to me. He pointed to me like he was happy.
Bitch, you didn't even you traveled. This is not real.
Yeah. And they play for hours.
That's so crazy.
And then they're like, oh, it's time to train. It's time to train now.
So that's their warm up?
Yeah, that's the gym Khabib trains in right there.
Wow, that's it. That floor.
Yep, right there.
That's crazy.
Look at these guys. Look.
The fact that they play a different version of basketball.
Yeah.
Did he just get KO'd? What happened there?
Oh man, at the end of this, Khabib gonna like choke somebody out. Like it's
really?
It's crazy, man. They do not play.
And they run on the mats with their shoes on. These motherfuckers are gonna get staffed.
Look at Khabib.
What is happening here? This is so ridiculous.
It looks like a running back. Looks like they're playing rugby, kind of.
Yeah, it's like rugby basketball.
Yeah.
That's what I called it, but they call it a different thing in Dagestan that I found.
What do
out.
they call it?
It's something, man.
It's like Australian rules football, right? Like Dagestan rules basketball.
Literally. And I played with them, and my knee was swelled for 2 days in Dagestan
Because they tackled you?
Oh, they was killing me. Khabib, and look, after I was
Did you try to dribble, or did you just play
I was
their
scoring
way?
and everything, but when I kept getting, my knees started hurting, Khabib was like, "Brother, you too big to be sorry." I was like, "Hey, I can't move, bro. What is wrong with you?" Like,
You twisted your knee?
yeah, they was all arguing about picking me up because I remember that when I dunked on Khabib, I sent you that image of me dunking on Khabib,
Yes.
like he was trying to guard me.
Yes.
They really wanted to pick me up then. They was like, "Oh, we getting him." So I'm thinking it was gonna be easy. I'm gonna just hold the ball up and jump. Boy, they was taking my knees out.
Oh,
they was
no.
taking it easy on each other until they saw the black dude. When they saw the black dude play, they was like, "Oh, we really not about to,
A guy who actually had the potential to play professional.
Yeah, and they going crazy. Look at this.
This is hilarious. This
Oh,
is such
and it's
a
serious.
weird
They
way
take
of
it
playing
serious, too.
Basketball. That's fun.
Look.
The ball's
Look
like
at him.
dead every time it hits the ground.
Yeah.
It's got no bounce.
Look,
or the floor is
he,
dead or
he,
something.
he dimed him though.
Well, it looks like the floor is a regular basketball
It is. Look how
floor.
happy they is. Look at his dad, like that.
Look at this running with the fucking ball like this. It's hilarious.
And this is slow motion, so you see. Look, push you out of bounds. They do all that. They did that to me a couple times.
But they run on that fucking mat.
look at
and then they
Khabib.
wrestle
Look
on
at
that
this. Look at
same
this.
mat.
Watch this. Look at this. Here it is, right here. Watch this. Look. Khabib ain't stopping.
So he's wrestling with this dude? Why is he doing that?
Cause to hold him down. Like now they wrestling. Look, Khabib ain't stopping.
And they're doing it on the mat.
Look,
so he takes him
Khabib
to
is
the
a
mat.
man. Look, Khabib is a madman.
Oh my God, he's taking his back. He's choking
Look.
him out.
You never-
Is he at a tap? That is crazy. So they wrestle
Yep.
while they're playing basketball?
Yes, they will tackle you down.
So
and
there's
go-
no rules.
no rules.
That is hilarious.
Look, it's
oh my
still
God, he's
going
on
on.
top. The guy tapped already.
Look.
And now he's got him in an armbar.
Khabib
But the
is-
guy already tapped.
Oh man, this bring back memories.
But wait a minute. So you
Look, now
like people trying to get Khabib off him?
Yeah.
Why is
his teammates
mad
is
at the dude?
because you free up another opponent so you can play. But that
Oh
look at
my
Khabib, look at Khabib,
God.
look.
That is
He thought he was
hilarious.
Dr. J right there. He thought he was Dr. J right there.
The skyhook.
Oh man,
That is
it's crazy seeing
hilarious.
MMA fighters play basketball. It's the worst thing
Well,
ever.
this is not basketball
Oh,
though.
my
This is
God.
something different. I mean, when you're not ever dribbling.
Did you see the video of Francis trying to act? He paid a homage to Zion Williamson, and then he was out there shooting basketballs. ESPN
No.
just did it, bro. Francis is the worst athlete. He's not an athlete, bro. I'm sorry. If you 6'5" and can't dunk a basketball, being
Well, don't you remember when Mike Tyson was in his prime? He was
remember
playing
you seen that basketball
throwing
with the
bricks?
overalls? With the overalls? Oh my god.
Well, it's just he's got dedication to one thing.
One thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I
Like,
mean, look
look,
at France.
oh my god.
That was bad.
Well,
Let me tell
here it
you
is. Look.
He's laughing though. That's probably the first time he ever tried to do that.
Man, and he will punch you with a pinky and your soul will come out your body.
He hit so fucking hard. When he hit Alistair, there's another kickboxer who made it big in MMA,
Yeah,
right? Alistair Overeem. But Alistair was like Alistair's very, very well rounded. He's
Yeah.
not just a kickboxer, but K1 Grand Prix champion. You got to call him a kickboxer. But when he hit Alistair with that left hook, I was like, Jesus Christ. He sent
I
him
saw it the other day. They did a
flying.
free fight. They did a free fight on UFC channel, and I just watched it over and over and over. And I was like, then it was the follow through punch.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Jesus.
that's the scariest moment I ever. I wouldn't say scariest, but the most intimidating moment I ever have. I was filming Francis eating a banana, and he didn't like it.
You didn't like you filming him?
I was in the elevator with him and Usman. We was in Pittsburgh when we did UFC Pittsburgh, when Rocco fought David Branch back then. And Francis came to support Kamaru. So they going to do jujitsu in the little workout room. And Francis is like talking to Usman, opening in a banana. And I'm like, he put the banana in his mouth. He started eating it. And I'm filming. And he looked, hey. He like slapped the camera away.
Whoa.
That was my boy, though. Francis was my boy. But that was before I really knew him.
You filming him eating?
You maybe he just didn't.
Just
you
was
know,
tired of
men with bananas in their mouth, they might not like the banana in the tailpipe. That was funny. Francis is intimidating, man.
Oh, he's terrifying. When he clipped Cain Velasquez, there it is.
Oh, my
There's that
God.
uppercut. I mean, it's like an uppercut left hook, like a shovel hook. Look at this. Boom.
Right before that, his swagger, how he had the confidence bouncing his shoulders, like he was ready to.
He believed he was the greatest
Yeah.
in the world. And that
then
Stipe
Stipe.
fight changed his fucking trajectory, man. It really did.
Changed his life, huh?
That's a really interesting fight because Stipe was a real champion.
You know what's crazy? I was in the room next to Francis in Boston, and he never went to sleep. And I had my door, so my room, was right next to Francis, and I had my door open because I was like, if fighters come by, I'm gonna just catch them with a camera.
Just
or
kept
whatever.
your door open?
I kept in the middle of the night editing because that's during fight week. You know how Embedded releases their series.
Yeah.
I'm filming all of these fighters, and then I'm going back up to my room and I'm editing. But I'm already editing in my head. That's how I'm able to get stuff out.
What are you editing?
quick.
What program are you editing with?
Premiere now.
No.
Premiere.
And you're just doing it, just slapping it up as quick as you can.
But see, my method when I film is I'm already knowing what I'm gonna use.
Okay, so you're making your cuts.
I
Almost
know
as
the
you're filming.
opening shot. I know everything.
Are you writing all this stuff down?
No, I
or
keep it in my head. Just keep it. And people be like, how can you edit and release it that fast? It's like, it's already done before I go to my room. I just have to go up there and put it together. Music, everything. I'm able to just, I don't know how I'm able to do it. It's just something natural I've been doing for years.
Obviously you have a deep passion.
Yeah. I have a deep, and I've developed the skill set to, it's easy. They always say, well, you put in 10,000 hours and something, you become an expert.
Yeah.
I feel like I put in my 10,000 hours doing all types of different types of shoots to survive. And now, this is my arena. This is my big stage.
Right.
But I remember that week, Francis never went to sleep. I'd be like, bro, go to sleep. What are you doing with your door open? Trying to catch you. And then he'd come in, sit on the bed, and look at what I was editing. Because obviously I was filming him as well. And it was just funny, like just those type of memories. That's like,
What time was it that he never went to sleep all night?
well, you get there Monday, Tuesday, fight
Right.
Saturday. So it may be Wednesday and you still up at 3 a.m. Because you fighting late.
he was
no,
up
because
that
think
late?
about it. Think about it. The last fight is at what time?
10 o'clock, yeah. 9 o'clock. Well, L.A. time. Boston time.
It's midnight.
Yeah, midnight.
Yeah, so he up because he can't go to sleep early because he got to fight. And that's one thing I discovered about the fight game. Like, dang, that does make sense. You're fighting at 11 p.m.
Yeah, you want to keep yourself on that
You got to say.
same
So
schedule.
he just walking around the hallways. Big ass Francis in Boston. It's crazy. Like, it's like looking back on that stuff and it's like, man, I've captured a lot of stuff already.
What's crazy is with him, you watch him and then this next fight against Derek Lewis, and neither one of them threw anything. Derek had a fucked up back. He really
It
probably
looked like the Paulie and Artem fight. Nobody wanted to do anything.
That fight was terrible.
Oh my God, I watched it.
The fact that Artem beat him in a boxing match.
It shouldn't have been even no contest.
But Paulie's never had power. He's never been.
And them
a
hands
powerful
is
guy.
brittle. Them hands is brittle.
Yeah, but he's never been a guy that could just stop, like keep you off.
Conor really beat the hell out of him. I firmly believe it now.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't like after watching that.
Well, also after watching Paulie's examination of that fight afterwards, you're like, wait a minute, you thought you lost?
Lost?
You mean you thought you won a decision? You thought you got a shit decision? Like you didn't do anything.
Nah, what you think Conor gonna do?
Whatever he wants. Probably do a lot of coke.
You know what's crazy? Before I
I'm
ever
just kidding. I think he's gonna have some fun, man. I think if he finds a fight that's fun, he's got $100 million in the bank. If he finds a fight that's fun, he's gonna do it. But the problem with him is, they wanted him to do cowboy, and there was some talk about him doing a cowboy fight, but he wanted to be a main event. The UFC wants main events to all be big time championship fights.
anything Conor do is big time.
That's what I said. But they think that somehow or another, having no championship title on the line, it wouldn't be that valuable.
I would love to spend a day in a life with Dana White.
Well, Justin Gate, I don't think he'd let you do that.
You don't think
But-
so? Conflict of interest?
Yeah, because they've got their own thing. They've got UFC embedded.
That sucks because I really want to do the anatomy of Dana White, just hanging out with him for a day.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe it would help embedded, and maybe it would help the Tuesday Night Contender series. It would help pump that up.
Eric Albertson said the perfect thing. He said, why would the UFC be worried about you? You like a lemonade stand and they Coca-Cola.
Well, I think that way, but some people don't. Some people don't want to help other things get going.
But I'm promoting them.
Right, but what if you stop promoting them and just really concentrate on Bellator, and the channel's gigantic now because you did so much UFC content?
That's true.
That's how people look at things.
Well, my first idea was to tell the UFC, let me just film all the fighters y'all not going to promote this fight week. So embedded is 10 other fighters. Let Anatomy of a Fighter get them. Give me a credential and let me just film them all week. So I'm around, film these fighters that y'all never going to post.
What did they say about that? Not interested.
I didn't get a not interested, but I don't know. It's weird because I much love to the UFC because they give me a lot of access and I love every single person over there. Like Dean Klein and Heidi Dean, all those people, I love them. They treat me like a annoying cousin.
They're great people.
I'm an annoying cousin when I'm at fight week. And that's the thing. I haven't been to a lot of fight weeks, but it seems like people think I go to every fight week. And it's like, I only go to ones I can afford or they make sense. Like if I had the funds, I'd be at every fight week filming.
Are you going to be in Vegas for the John Jones Thiago Santos
Yeah,
fight?
because I'm nominated for an award against you.
Oh, really? For what?
The World MMA Awards.
What's the
Best MMA Programming?
what am
World
I?
MMA Awards.
For the JRE MMA show?
Yeah.
Now you're on it.
So
how crazy is that?
I know, that's so weird. That is so weird. I told you, Confessions of an Online Dater was the way I thought I was going to end up on here.
Well, I hope you win. 'Cause I won a bunch of those MMA
It's
awards.
me, you.
I never go.
It's me, you, embedded, Dana White's Tuesday Contender Series, and then MMA Hour.
I hope you win against me. How about that?
That'd be. I'll smoke weed if I did. I'll be like, I'm done.
Listen,
done.
I understand your reluctance to smoke weed. I smoked weed maybe 5-6 times until I was 30 years old. Like a handful of times ever. Like a couple times in high school, a couple times afterwards at parties. I get it. I mean, I get it, the whole personality thing. When I was 30 years old, that's when I started smoking, like really started smoking weed. And I don't think anybody should do anything if they have an obsessive personality and they're worried about getting
that's what it is.
Locked into it. I mean, I don't think you should drink. But if you can handle it, a little bit of weed, I think, opens up these doorways of creativity, and I think that it's very valuable.
I told you that's what Cowboy told me. Cowboy told me
about mushrooms.
Mushrooms,
right? Mushrooms as well. I think psychedelic drugs, whether they're marijuana or mushrooms, they're tools. And the way I've always described it is like you could take a tool and you could build a house with it, right? You could take a hammer and you could build a beautiful deck. Or you could just hit yourself in the dick if you're fucking crazy.
True.
Like you could abuse a tool. But it doesn't mean the tool's bad. It means the application's bad. And you don't give a hammer to a 2-year-old, right? You don't give a little kid weed and tell them to smoke it every day. But I think for a grown adult, it's good to participate in something that gives you an altered state of consciousness because it allows you to look at yourself in a fresh way. And for someone who's always like trying to be self-assessing and objective and always trying to analyze who you are and your thinking and your behavior, I think something like marijuana is very important because it allows you to see yourself in this way that maybe you don't ordinarily do. It allows you to drop your blinders and get a glimpse of how other people see you, which is very hard to do. It's very hard, for, especially people that, you put up your barriers, your defenses, you have an ego. It's hard for you to look at yourself to find the things that you're doing wrong. So if you can't find the things that you're doing wrong, it's very difficult to grow. So a lot of people call that paranoia, that effect that marijuana produces. Smoke pot. I don't like smoking pot, man. It makes me paranoid. But that paranoia, I think, is awareness. And I think you close those doors of awareness in order to get through your life. But the subconscious is always aware of these things. The subconscious is always aware of these things that are fucking with you. And marijuana just finds all the problems and just turns the lights on.
So if I moved to Denver, I'll probably end up smoking weed. Everybody smoking weed.
If you do it, just a...
What about an edible?
A little. Edibles, careful. Careful.
I heard like a cookie.
They'll fuck you up.
I heard a cookie will destroy you.
I got some cookies that'll put you on the moon.
Rashad Evans, that's like my big brother. He always told me about the toad.
Oh, 5-methoxy dimethyltryptamine. Yeah. Yeah, that'll fuck you up too. Oh, he's done that now,
He said,
right?
you can go into another dimension.
Oh, you literally can.
I might be the president of the United States in the other dimension. Who knows?
Well, there's no United States in that other dimension. There's no states. There's no people. There's souls. You go into like a well of souls.
That's crazy.
Disembodied entities.
The toad. I remember when I kept. What the hell is you talking about? The toad. The toad.
Nobody gets it from a toad though. They're really 5-methoxy dimethyltryptamine. They get usually from laboratories, and so it's synthesized with a bunch of precursors. But the other one, NN dimethyltryptamine, is the one we see the visuals. It's all
really,
it's
and how long it lasts?
Difference. 15 minutes, unless you eat it. If you eat it,
what if you did it in a float tank?
You could do that.
You can do it in
you would have to do it quick. Like you'd have to. Have you seen the float tank here?
Yeah, remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Have you done it yet?
Nope.
You got to.
I seen how expensive they was online.
How expensive?
I seen some. Yeah, like
to buy one.
Buy one. Yeah.
Well, you could always. There's the Float Lab. They have a place in Westwood. They have a place in Venice, and then there's a giant place that opened up in Pasadena that uses all the Float Labs. What's the name of that place again? Just Float. That place has that is the biggest float establishment on earth.
And you do it for how long?
Well, last night I did 2 hours.
Damn.
I like 2 hours. Yeah. I like to just get in there and find out what the fuck's up.
I was with Cheeto Vera the other day. One of his teammates did it for like an hour, and he was just like, I didn't know was I asleep in a dream or it was just
what it is.
crazy.
You're disembodied. You know Charlemagne the God. He was on last week and we were talking about it because he's doing this whole mental wellness retreat sort of center. He's like establishing these mental wellness centers. Yes, he is. Because Charlemagne, his new book, Shook One, is all about his
mental health,
his anxiety, his issues with anxiety, and anything that allows you to relax and just center yourself can help you with anxiety. And that's one of the things that he said about the tank was that he's never felt stillness like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because you're not feeling your body. Your body is just you could try it right now if you want.
He had a crazy life.
Yeah, he had a crazy life.
Yeah, he had a crazy life.
And also, like I said to him about. He's the last samurai in terms of radio. Radio is a dying industry. Yeah. He's the last guy, I think, to get famous off of radio.
Yeah, Charlemagne the God is like, I saw a little bit of it, and I remember he said that he got fired at 31. He was 31, no job.
With a 2-year-old.
And that's what, that stuff is inspiring because I wasn't unemployed at, I was like 29 when I was lost, and then I was turning 30, and that's when I got my shit together. So, to hear Charlemagne the God say, I was 31, I had a kid, and I was no job. Like, I think so many people in life are so obsessed with getting somewhere fast and don't understand it takes time. And just to see somebody like that be open enough to say, like, I was at a low moment in my life. Like, at my age now, I used to think when I was 25, 37 was young or old.
Old as fuck.
You're young as hell. Yeah, you're not old at 37 no more.
Yeah.
You never been. It's just we always thought.
If you're a healthy 37.
Yeah.
When we were kids, our parents, by the time they were 37, they're working 12 hours a day.
They felt
exhausted.
50. They felt 50.
They probably felt a lot older
They
than
felt
that.
50. Thank God to the internet. Because if it wasn't for the internet, I wouldn't be able to put up these amazing videos. I would have to go work for one of these companies.
Well, it's also the internet allows you to get all this information that allows you to stay healthy. You get a better understanding about diet, nutrition, mental health, relaxation, how important meditation is. And I think one of the other things that Charlemagne did that's very important is he talked openly about anxiety. And he's a famous, cool guy. He's like a famous guy known for his opinions, known for being brash. And for him to say, hey, I've struggled. I've had real mental struggles and mental health struggles.
That's a very fragile conversation in the black community. Mental health issues and anxiety and things like that. People don't want to admit it.
Right, because even tough it out.
Yeah, you want to feel brave. Yeah. And for me, man, I felt hopeless and defeat many times in my life.
Sure, me too.
And luckily for me, sometimes I say, damn, I don't have kids. Luckily, I've been able to figure it out on my own without having the responsibility to take care of somebody, right? So I've been lucky in that sense where I haven't had a child, a son, a daughter, and I was like, and that gives me youth. It feels like every day I wake up, I'm like, I can do what I want to do because only person I'm responsible for is me.
Yeah.
And that gives me the freedom to be a gypsy. I couldn't be a gypsy if I had it.
No, not the life that you have.
Nah.
The life, but you know what? If you had a kid, you would just alter that life, and you would take great comfort in the fact that you love someone deeply, like a child. It's a crazy thing, the love you have for children. It
changes people's lives.
It changes.
Like I see how
you are.
Uzman.
When he had his daughter, when he's carrying his daughter in
that
the
was
cage,
crazy, man.
It's so hard for me not to cry. It's so hard for me not to cry when people win and they start thanking their mom or their parents hug them, or it's like when he was holding his daughter up, I'm like, oh Jesus, here it comes.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to fight it back.
That was crazy. Listen, man. Remember when he got in trouble for like the 30%, or people was going in on him because he was like, I'm 30%. I was 30%.
Yeah.
Like the thing that I can say about being around these fighters, I see all the injuries and everything, and that people don't understand what they do in the fight.
Well, how about the fact that Usman went into that fight with a broken foot?
I know.
How crazy is that? He had a broken foot when he fought Tyron motherfucking Woodley, and he never stopped coming. Never stopped moving forward. You would never been able to guess by any stretch of the imagination that he was injured.
Yeah, I did. I did because I filmed it all.
You knew it.
I knew it. I just can't release it. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to, now after the fight, I could say, yeah, he was injured.
Right.
But I have that on so many fighters. Cejudo, everybody like.
Well, how about Cejudo's ankle?
I know.
How crazy is that?
That was crazy.
Cejudo's ankle, the week of the fight, was giant black and blue, completely fucked up, where he couldn't walk. And then he goes in there and fucks up Marlon Moraes.
Well, the Khabib Conor fight, didn't they say he had like a
Conor had something wrong with his foot, too.
Or Khabib had a problem with his weight cut, I heard.
Did he?
I think so. It was a bad weight cut.
Khabib is so big.
Yeah,
another guy.
He's a mountain
so
man.
Big. What is his diet like?
It's clean from what I see.
But he's had problems making weight in the past.
But that was 209. Think about that. How long ago that was.
Yeah.
UFC 209.
Yeah.
That was the last time he ever had a problem.
But it's, he had problems before that, though.
Yeah.
Like historically,
I
he's
didn't
had
know.
problems.
Yeah. I didn't even know Khabib at 209.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was when the first UFC event I ever went to.
Does he have a nutritionist? Like in Dagestan, does he have someone that cooks for him?
I don't know.
But you eat with him?
Yeah, but that was Ramadan. We was eating all
okay.
meat and potatoes, and I sat with everybody and ate every time.
And does he train during Ramadan?
Yes, he did. That was the whole Dagestan Chronicles. People couldn't believe it. He trained too.
So he trains during the day?
Without eating.
Without drinking water?
Crazy, man.
Wow.
I'm talking about really hard too. Like that's initially
No
I want to
drinking
turn
water.
I want to turn that whole series into a movie.
I can understand kind of being able to work out, like fasted workouts.
Nah.
But fucking no water?
Like training.
Jesus Christ.
And playing that basketball.
Really?
Like with no water, no nothing.
That is so crazy.
That's what I
Those dudes
said.
are
Like
so
that mental.
tough.
That's what I'm saying. That mental toughness. Like, and then when I seen the face off with him and Dustin, because Dustin, I would love to document Dustin because he is a good guy. I thought Dustin was huge when you just see him with everybody else, and then when he did the face off with Khabib, I'm like, damn, Khabib taller than him, everything. I'm thinking like, man,
He's going to have to keep that guy off him. Khabib is just such a good wrestler.
But
His wrestling
Ferguson
is so
said it
off the
perfect.
charts.
He's going to grab him, put him on the ground, mount him like that dummy and smash him. Now, I'm not a fighter, so I can't say it, but I kind of feel like that's how I always call Usman a black Khabib. Because as soon as he grab you, the fight over. That's how I feel. As soon as he grab you, it's over. Because you're not going to get away from him anymore.
Yeah.
I'm latched to you.
Yeah.
So
But that Damian Maya fight, that referee saved his ass.
I know I was in a locker room because
You never know. You never
He
know
was just-
what
we don't
would
know what-
happen.
'cause-
The world could have changed if that referee, whoever the fuck he is, I don't even want to know his name. I don't
last
wanna say
Maya
it.
fight, see how he took the back?
Yep, that's what he does. Yeah, against Lyman Good. That's what
Yeah.
he does to everybody, man. And that referee separated them, and I was sick. And Matt Serra went fucking crazy about it. And I was
That was
with
a
him.
tough one.
But it's not. It's you don't do that.
I asked
that guy doesn't
Usman.
understand fighting.
I said, what would have happened? He said, I would have just held it there the whole time, but you just never know.
Well, that's how he lost his first fight. He lost his first fight by getting choked out.
I know. You know, this is something that people don't know. So Usman got one fight that he's lost. Colby Covington has one fight that he's lost. That's what I'm all about stories, like the storyline. So the only fight that Colby Covington lost to was what? Leon Edwards?
Yes.
He
That
choked
was
him
a
out, right?
Short notice fight that he took in the UFC, and he was injured. He had something fucked up with his ribs.
So he lost via choke.
Yeah.
Usman beat Leon Edwards. The guy that Usman lost to early on, Colby Covington beat. So both of their losses are to people that's just a weird storyline.
Yeah, but that's MMA math.
Yeah,
for you,
I
right?
know. I'm not comparing them.
No,
I'm just
I know
saying
you're
that the
not.
fact
It
that
is
they
weird.
both got one loss and they supposedly hate each other, and there's two people they've beat.
It is crazy how fighters' careers just change. They become a different person, and whoever they are, like 4 years ago, you really can't compare them to
Nope.
whoever they are now. The Colby Covington thing is interesting because he really did beat the shit out of Damian Maya. He really did beat the shit out
Three-rounder,
of
right?
Rafael dos Anjos. I don't know if Damian Maya was 3 rounds. I feel like it was a main event. You might be right, though.
No, it's 3 rounds.
3 rounds.
Yeah, because it was in
Rafael
Brazil.
dos Anjos was 5 rounds.
Yeah, that was
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Dos Anjos won 2 rounds, right? 3-2.
Did he?
I think on the scorecards, he took him down and everything.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Not with Kamaru. Kamaru.
No,
just
it was brutal.
manhandled
That
him.
level change that Kamaru do with that level, like threaten to take down, he will piece you up because Henry Hoof got his striking crazy and it's getting better.
Yep. Oh, for sure. Well, he did fantastic against Woodley.
Yeah.
He had Woodley in real trouble from striking.
Yeah.
Woodley looks good in his comeback trails, though, too. All the
I like
training
Woodley, man.
footage that he's doing. He's
Woodley got
very
mad.
dedicated.
Woodley didn't want me to film him the week of the fight.
Why?
Just gamemanship. Dean Thomas came over to me and said, "Hey, man, Woodley don't want you to film him."
It's another distraction, you know.
Yeah,
But
I get it. I get it. I was mad. I was kind of. I wouldn't say mad. I was butthurt because I like Woodley. I'm like, come on, man. I've been filming you all week, and then all of a sudden,
Well,
day
just
before the fight,
in
hey,
his head, he doesn't want anything there, you know.
Yeah.
Just wants to. I mean, he had so many distractions. He released a fucking album with Wiz Khalifa. You know, he was touring. He was doing
had rap
doing
videos,
rap
slapping
albums.
asses.
And he's doing this fucking TMZ Hollywood shit that he does. He does a lot of shit, but I like that he does a lot of shit because he's recognizing that he's going to have a time outside of fighting. And
yeah, you gotta have a post life,
and he's got a real opportunity to make something happen forever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a smart guy.
inspirational guy.
Yeah.
Listen. I have none but listen. I love after the fight with Willie mom.
That was amazing.
I like Willie. His team,
His mom, when his mom was talking to, and me and Usman were both tearing up because like we were talking about it and we played it. His mom just goes over and embraces Kamaru, and Kamaru was crying, and his mom was like, "They're coming for you, baby.
They're coming for you. You better be prepared for it." Man. Mama Woodley, look, got tears in your eyes right now.
Too.
Yeah,
but that's the sport, man. The sport is this emotions and soul in this sport. It's like it's not just a winning and losing. It's like your life is on the line.
So imagine what I feel when I'm documenting this.
You're right next to them
because like say like a journalist, right? That gotta work for a show. They reporting, they interviewing guys. I'm in the gym with these guys every day.
Yeah,
like I'm literally sweating in the gym with these guys, going with them to eat, going to stay the night, sleeping on their couch. Like I'm doing all of that stuff to be next to these guys to tell them.
But you know why you're doing that, Will? Because it's yours.
Yeah.
This is all yours.
Yeah.
You're doing this. You're not working for some fucking company where you got some asshole producer who's telling you what to do. It wouldn't be the same, man. You wouldn't get that vision.
I wouldn't do it.
Not only would you not do it, you wouldn't be as motivated. You wouldn't, but more importantly, it wouldn't be the singular vision that you get when you know that it's coming from one person.
Yeah.
When you know something's coming from one person, you get this you get a feeling like this is Will Harris. He's there. He's filming this. He's editing it. He's putting it together. He's putting it out. Here's the video. That's a beautiful thing about the internet, man.
Yeah, it really is.
It's amazing.
It really is.
It doesn't exist in any other media. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like that ever in the history of the world. If you wanted to put out something like you've done, you needed a gang of people behind you. You needed a network. You needed
a production company.
You needed someone to choose you. You needed someone. There's probably 4 other guys that wanted to do what you're doing. 5 other guys, 10, a dozen. Everybody wants it, and they have to pick you. And then these other guys would be trying to like fuck you up from behind. And
it happens.
Yes,
it happens. And that's what I try to portray that message to every single person that messaged me. This is not easy. Like, it's a lot of sacrifice in this. You have to be willing to put in years to do this. I'm going on 2 years. And August 14th will be full 2 years of committing to Anatomy of a Fighter. And it's a baby stage to me. Like, because of what I know it can become.
Yeah. You can have millions of subscribers. I firmly believe that.
To me, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to stop no matter what. I'm not going to stop. I want this to be the biggest thing ever. I want a guy that's not even on a radar right now. I want to discover him, and then he become a heavyweight champion of the world, or a UFC champion, or a Bellator champion. And that's the thing that I get out of it all, is the fact that I can just create what I want.
Yes.
With whoever. I thought about it the other day. I was like, man, I need to put more women on the channel, women fighters, and promote more women. Because I feel like they don't get promoted as well. I want to get Amanda Nunes, Ashley Yoder. I was supposed to go with her and Dan Henderson in Temecula. I wish I could have got them on, but that's the type of because it's the freedom to do it.
Yes,
they don't have to pay me.
Yeah,
I just go do it and make it and put it out there, and hopefully somebody latches on and say, we want to be a part of this movement at Anatomy of a Fighter.
Something on Valentina Shevchenko
and her sister.
That lady scares the shit
they
out
are
of
some
me.
beasts.
She scares the shit out of me.
I just want to film her doing that little dance she did.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That fucking head kick on Jessica I, like, whoo.
I was supposed to go get her, Eric Nixit, her coach. She was like, oh, come down to Vegas and get Jessica I. That was a tough one. I like Jessica I she took it well, though.
She took it well, but she was severely outclassed. That was a a bad
Levels.
matchup.
There's levels.
There's levels. Well, I don't think there's a level higher than Valentina. There's people on her level, but there's no level higher.
That was a little debatable match against Nunes, the second one, right?
Yes, she
Like
could have
peop-
won that.
Yeah, people
she
say
could've won
she
that.
should have won.
Very, very close fight. But Nunes is a bigger girl. Nunes is a legit 135, or she's not going to make 125. You know, and when she knocked out Cyborg, everybody was like, "What in the fuck?" She flatlined Cyborg, and she's excuse me, she's chomping at the bit to do it again.
Listen,
She's like, "Set it up again, I'll do it again."
what do you think? If Cyborg left the UFC, where do she go?
One FC maybe.
But what fighters is over there?
They'll get some fighters for her. They'll find some. There's some Muay Thai champions that'll fight her. There's some badass women.
I talked to Cyborg. She wants that fight bad.
The Amanda Nunes fight?
Yeah, she wanted bad.
I'm sure she does. It might happen the same
Because it was
way again.
Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
It was Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but only one person was rocking.
That's what I'm saying. From her in.
Yeah, she was moving towards, and Amanda was just doing the perfect thing to deal with that style. I thought it was going to be a harder fight. I thought if Amanda was going to beat her, it was going to be by decision.
Oh, really?
I really did.
So you were shocked.
I didn't think she was going to flatline her. We've never even. Cyborg always gets up. She fought Jarina Barge in Lion Fight, who's a world class, top of the food chain Muay Thai fighter, and she didn't have a single Muay Thai fight. And Barge knocked her down twice, and Cyborg was chasing her to the last second
That's
of the
crazy.
bell, and she just seems so durable. I just never thought we'd see
Scary
her
power.
face plant. Amanda Nunes hits like she's got bricks in her gloves. She just drops those fucking bricks
And the
on
nicest
girls.
person in the world.
So
You would
nice.
never think she fought.
So nice. And, when her and Cyborg were talking all that shit, she seemed like cool and calm and like, just you wait. She just knows, man. When she fucked up Ronda Rousey like that, I was like, good Lord. That was a fight where I remember the run up to that fight. That was one of the first fights that when WME bought the UFC. And they were really promoting the shit out of Ronda Rousey. Ronda was like walking around some big mansion looking at the TV and they were going to say this is the big comeback fight.
Yeah.
And I was like, you guys should be paying attention to your first ever openly gay UFC champion who happens to be a fucking murderer, happens to be a chick that murked Miesha Tate, happens to be a chick that flatlines people. She's probably one of the hardest punchers in any women's combat sport. I mean, fuck, man. She hits fucking hard. You got to go back to Ann Wolf's one-punch KO in boxing to see a woman
Ann
who
Wolf was
hits
a beast.
beast.
Oh, my God.
But you got to go to that to see a woman who hits that hard. And Amanda loves to fight, man. You see, she loves it. She fucking loves it. She feeds off of it. And when they were setting that fight up, and they weren't giving Amanda Nunes any credit, and they weren't promoting her at all. I'm like, you guys are crazy. This is a bad fight for Ronda. This is a bad fight. Because first of all, that chick's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Ronda's not going to submit her. And she's probably not going to get a dominant position on her. And when they're standing up on the feet, this chick is going to throw bricks. And it's not a good place for Ronda.
Yeah, that was like, it looked bad. Like
48 seconds.
How she was stumbling.
She's out. Well, there was a lot wrong there. Motivation-wise, a lot wrong there. To go from the Holly Holm KO straight to that.
Should have had a warm-up fight, right?
For sure. I mean, there's a reason why boxing has warm-up fights.
What is the percentage? Do you give Holly Holm a chance against Nunes?
Well, Holly Holm's a world-class fighter. You got to give her a chance against anybody. She survived against Jermaine Durandame, knocked her down, and Jermaine Durandame is a legit world champion Muay Thai fighter.
Was that the fight with the late after the?
Yes, twice she got hit.
She should have got point taken and she would have won.
I think she won that fight.
Yeah.
I think she won anyway. She
yeah.
dropped her twice. She dropped her with a straight left, and she dropped her with a question mark kick. I thought she won that fight, but Amanda's just a fucking murderer, man. It's hard to pick against.
Imagine
Amanda.
if Holly shocked the world twice.
She could. Look, she could. Man.
I like her too, man.
She's an amazing person.
She hates the cameras.
Does she?
She won't let me film her.
Why?
She won't let nobody film her.
Just distractions.
She just don't like. She don't like it.
That's interesting.
And that's one of the girls I would love to do. Like, you know, because this is like fun for me. So I'm like, I would love to just get this person on and be able to let the world get to know this fighter, right? Like,
I get it from their perspective, though, because it is a distraction.
Yeah.
It's another thing, another factor to consider.
Yeah.
And some people don't mind it. Like I bet Henry Cejudo probably likes it.
Yeah, in a way. I've gotten away from going to fight week because it's kind of the same thing. I've done it a lot. So I like to just go way before a fight and just document
camps.
this stuff and then release it during the fight week.
What is it like at Bad Motherfucker Ranch, Donald Cowboy's place?
I haven't been there yet. I've only been to Jackson's.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I got to go there for like a week.
Yeah,
and just be
that's
with
what I'm
him
saying.
and chilling and
That's the place to go because they're all doing mushrooms, fucking jumping jet skis off the top
eating
of
fresh
buildings.
eggs,
Yeah.
eating stuff like
Yeah.
that. I would love to do that. Cowboy is Cowboy. One of them people. Like if you see his face, you would think he's mean. Like sometimes, but he's the coolest dude I ever
He's
seen.
the nicest
Man,
guy. He's so nice.
like that's crazy. Like when him and Mike Perry fought, I had access to Mike Perry that fight week. And I reached out to a Cowboys team and said, I want to be neutral on this and film both of y'all that week. And Cowboys said, yeah, no problem. So he let me hang with him. I was with Perry. After the fight, they met, they talked. I had that little famous moment where they met. And, you know, Cowboy was like, you lit the fire in me. And Perry was like, what? He was like, you talking all that shit, lit the fire in me.
When he made that Instagram video, he's like, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, all that stuff. So that's probably one of the, if people ask me what my favorite moment is, it's probably the Mike Perry week because of just, I had both of them. And then I had the raw emotion of Mike Perry after he lost in the locker room. Like where he looked at the sky, was like, damn, God, you couldn't let me out the first round? He's like, damn, it was embarrassing, right? But it was.
Perry's a funny guy, man.
He is.
He's a character.
Just star. He can do anything. I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna get better in fighting. He can be in movies.
Yeah. Well, he's gotten better since the move to Jackson's. He really has. He's got more.
But he went back.
Went back where?
To Fusion XL in Florida. He went back to his original team after
Did
the
he?
Cowboy fight.
Interesting.
Yeah. And
I
then
wonder why.
I don't know. I have no clue. But he's not at Jackson's anymore. He's at Fusion XL.
Well, I'm not aware of Fusion. I don't know, if they have good trainers or anything like that.
That's where Jacare trained.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like what they were doing for him, though, at Jackson's. I like how they were giving him a more measured...
Frank Lester, man.
Yes.
Yeah, big Frank the Tank.
They're giving him a more calculated approach, making him fight more intelligently, more of a game plan. Because he's always going to be wild, and he's always going to have that power.
That Paul Felder fight.
Yeah, that was wild. That was wild. But if I wanted to see that fight, if Felder, first of all, Felder's a different weight class, but if Felder didn't throw that spinning back fist and bounce it off his forehead and snap his arm in half,
They should run it back, huh?
Well, I don't think Felder should be fighting 170, because I don't think Perry has a chance in hell making 155.
No.
But Felder can.
Till versus Perry is a good one.
That's a great fight. And they hate each other. I like that, especially after Till coming off getting knocked out by Masvidal.
2 losses in a row.
Yeah.
So that's a great fight for
2 losses in a row, but the big one was Masvidal, because Masvidal flatlined him. I thought that was a disrespectful the way they had set it up, where the bookies had set it up where Tyron Woodley was the underdog. I was like, you guys are out of your fucking mind.
yeah, in Dallas?
I mean, you're out of your fucking mind. I don't know what hype you're buying into them. We've never seen this guy on the ground. We've never seen this guy with a guy like Woodley. And like Woodley hits hard.
Yeah,
he
it's
hits
a
ridiculously
tank.
hard. He's so fast.
Yes.
And wrestling wise, I mean, it's not even close. I thought that was crazy. I'm like, yeah, he beat Cowboy. Yeah, he looked great. Yeah, he beat Wonder Boy. But, I mean, it was a fight where he clipped Wonder Boy with one really good shot. He hit him with one really good shot in a good 5-round fight.
I wouldn't call him a hype train, but I feel like the promotions, they did it with Pico. Now he got 2 straight losses.
Well, you get excited about a guy because a guy has something special. And sometimes those guys that have something special, they never, like Uriah Hall, never really became what everybody thought he was going to become. We saw Uriah Hall in The Ultimate Fighter, like, holy shit, this is the next Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
Like, look at this guy, wheel kicking people in the head.
Yeah.
He's built like a Greek god. He moves like a fucking gazelle. He just had this perfect style. Like, holy shit, look at this guy. But never quite became who we thought, and then the Paulo Costa fight, you see him getting beaten down by Costa.
He was fucking him up though at first with the jabs. Yeah, the jabs.
Paulo Costa can take it, man.
Yeah, I was just like,
him versus Yoel Romero. Good googly moogly. Is that a crazy fight? That's here. That's going to be in California.
Anaheim.
Yeah. Woo!
With Nate and Pettis.
That's the battle of the best bodies ever. Those two guys.
He inspired me. How you look like that still at 40-something years old?
He's got the freak genetics, man. He talked about it on the podcast. He's like, go look, Cuba. Everybody look like that. He was saying that everybody looked like that. It's just amazing genetics.
And then Costa.
Well, it's also like when you think about what Yoel has gone through, that Cuban wrestling program, man, they just call everyone who's not an elite 5-star super A+ athlete, you ain't making it. He was telling me that the people that are the best, they eat more. They get better food and they eat more. And they sleep in better places. And they set it up where you're training with all these other people that want what you have.
Wow.
So you're around them all the time. Have you seen that podcast? It's amazing because
that's what Joey was.
Joey is the translator with Yoel.
Did he speak some English?
Yeah, he speaks a little, but he needs help, and Joey would help him.
Yeah. I never met him.
Yoel?
No, I haven't met him yet.
He's a great guy.
Yeah,
he's so super friendly, and he does shit to people inside the octagon.
You think he gonna get any of that money?
Oh, the $27 million from the supplement company. For people who don't know what we're talking about, he won a lawsuit against the supplement company, just like we were talking about before with Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
They gave him tainted supplements, and he won $27 million. It's a big company. See, we thought that it was a smaller company that would just go under, but this is a big fucking company. And that company makes $100 million a year, and they owe him 27.
Can you settle out of a settle? Like the judgment was 27 million, but could they be like, "Oh, we give you 10"?
That's a good question. I don't know how that works. If they do, you probably could take that and then sue them for the other 17.
Because you have it.
Yeah,
you gave me 10.
I think they're supposed to pay 27 million. I just don't. I think they have to go bankrupt.
He should never fight again.
Well, maybe he wants to though. He wants to be the champ. He's got a legit shot. I think he beat Whitaker in the last fight.
That's what I was going to say. I think he won that second fight.
I think he won.
What about Rockhold going to light heavyweight?
I don't know, man. The way he smashed Rockhold in that fight, I was like, good Lord.
Then he kissed him.
Well, he kissed her after he flatlined. Rockhold was talking all kinds of shit. But Rockhold said it was like hitting someone who was made out of steel. He said he was so fucking hard.
Yeah, Rockhold told me that I've never felt a human like that in my life.
That super 5-star elite athlete. That's what that is. That is as elite as you get. When that guy goes into the cage and you see him move around, you're just like, jeez. Yeah,
first of all, you go, that neck, no neck.
You go, how the fuck is he 185 pounds? Dude, I weigh 200 pounds. How the fuck is Yoel Romero 185 pounds? That's crazy. Insane.
I seen a side-by-side with him and Khabib, like when they were younger. And I was just like, man, this dude is massive.
He's giant.
Khabib is a bear.
Yeah, Khabib is thick as fuck.
Yeah,
but Yoel's on another level.
Freaking like he a gargoyle. Mm-hmm. He like built like a little gargoyle or something.
Well, when he knocked out Chris Weidman with that flying knee, I was like, Jesus Christ. He has this like slow move, and then he sets these traps on you and explodes.
Where do you feel like these vets? The sport is changing so much, so now you're starting to see all these vets try to figure it out, like Weidman going to light heavyweight. Luke,
is Weidman going to light heavyweight now?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So it's like, is these guys like, because obviously this with Dana White's Contender Series, all these fresh guys are starting to. The sport is changing so fast. It's like now these guys are starting to become the Tito Ortiz, the Chuck Liddells of the.
Right.
Now it's like this new fresh. Because think about it. It's like Jordan said. It's gonna be somebody better than me one day. Michael Jordan. It's gonna be somebody way better than John Jones one day.
Wow.
And think about that, the evolution of the sport.
Well, that's what we've seen, right? When you go back to the old days, the Tank Abbott days, and then you see what you see today. I mean, that's unrecognizable. You're talking about 1993 to 2019. What is it going to be like in 2030?
The Phil Baroni days.
Oh, my God. I mean, what we're going to look at in 10, 15 years from now is probably just – I mean, you're seeing it now with the Tuesday Night Contender Series and with these guys coming out of one that you never even heard of before.
The Johnny Walkers, where he come from?
Yeah, exactly. That Natsiukin guy that knocked out Eddie Alvarez, like, who the fuck is he? Like, he's a monster. Never heard of him before, right? There's so many guys coming up right now that no one's heard of that are just dedicated and driven and focused, and they also have a higher benchmark. You know, they've seen the Mighty Mouses.
Yeah,
they've
you're right.
seen these guys, and they know that this is the level they're trying to achieve, instead of, you know, looking back at the early days, you know, where guys just weren't as complete as they are now.
That's correct. Do you think, Dana has said plenty of times there will never be cross promotion. Do you think will it ever be would you like to see that?
Yes,
I
would.
One
Yeah.
versus UFC champion?
Look, I'm the worst businessman of all time. I'm not about protecting any brands. I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck. I would be like, yeah, come on, let's fight. Let's make a
Yeah.
fight. Let's all make money. I don't care. You know, I'm the wrong guy for that. Like, if I was I would make the UFC lose money. I'd pay people more. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not the right guy for that job.
Yeah.
And I think that I would have a lot more weight classes. First of all, I wouldn't have a jump between 85 and 205. That to me looks crazy. Like, why don't you have 10 pounds? Every 10 pounds.
Yeah. 165 is needed.
Yes, 165 is needed.
Kevin Lee could be
Yes.
champion easily there.
Well, 55, 65, 75, 85, all the way on up. 95, 205, 215, 225.
And there's more fights.
Yes, more fights, more champions, and I think it's the right way to do it. Also, I feel like it's weird that we call it welterweight when it's 170, and now Glory calls it welterweight at 172. Well, welterweight, like in the Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns days, it's 147. That's
Wow,
welterweight.
Yeah, because Mayweather was a welterweight champion
Yes,
in 147.
that's boxing. That's boxing. That's the fucking a legitimate original name for that weight class is the boxing name. They called it welterweight.
That's crazy.
They called it middleweight. They called it cruiserweight. It was their names.
Yeah.
So what we've done is some weird thing where we decided,
Why-
fuck you, I'm going to call it welterweight. It's like, you know, I live on Brown Street. Yeah, fuck you, Brown Street's over here now. How can we have two Brown Streets? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
Doesn't
true.
make any sense.
Why wouldn't they create 165?
They should. I don't know. I don't
Like, what would be
Listen,
the
one? My
just a
relationship with
belt.
Dana White is we're very good friends.
That's
I
your
love
guy.
the guy to death. I've loved him forever. He got me into commentary. If it wasn't for him, I'd have never done it. But I don't do what he does. I don't want that job.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
a tough
get it.
one.
I don't agree with him on a lot of shit. I don't agree with him on the weight classes for sure. I don't agree with him on some of the rules. I don't. There's a lot of shit I don't agree with.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things I don't agree with in the sport in general. I'm changing my opinion, though, about bare knuckle. I used to think that'd be a good idea.
You
I'm
like
watching-
it now?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No, this is for MMA. I feel like people would get too cut up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Paulie barely got hit. You see his face?
Yeah, well, did you see Chris Lieben's face?
Oh, that was brutal.
Chris, pull up that picture from Chris Lieben's thing today. Dakota Cochran opened up just a fucking river on his head. It's crazy. I just feel like
Imagine seeing a woman and her face look like that.
we've already seen it. I mean, we've seen girls in Muay Thai in
Yeah.
particular. Look at that gash. Dude, that is crazy. I mean, that looks like he fell off a motorcycle and hit a tree.
And these fans just want more blood.
Well, it's just the knuckles cut your face up so easy.
Yeah.
And elbows cut your face up as well. And you can definitely look, we've seen some horrific gashes inside the UFC. But I think it's harder to hit someone with an elbow and cut them up like that. It's like you're getting a lot of punches in. You're not getting a lot of elbows in. You're not getting as many. You can, especially with ground and pound. There's a real good argument for bare knuckle. But when you watch these bare knuckle fighters, they're breaking their fucking hands almost every fight. Everybody's getting their hands broken.
Artem loves it.
He's an animal.
Yeah, Artem is
Yeah.
Artem. Like,
Jason Knight
you
loves
know
it
what's
too.
crazy? You know, they call him the GOAT, and it's just funny trolling with it. But he's a game opponent. He even fought Michael Johnson tough as hell. That was a
Yep.
tough fight for Michael.
He's tough. Like the Russian Hammer is a good nickname for that dude. He's a hammer.
Be-
Yeah,
yes.
look at Paulie. He got hit
Yeah,
with like
and
two
he said,
punches.
I got only hit clean once.
Well, he got hit clean a couple of times, but the point is he didn't do shit.
That was bad.
I'm a fan of Paulie Malignaggi as a boxer, you know, and
One of the
I
best
think
commentators.
he's very, very, very good as a commentator, and I think he beat Adrian Broner. I think when he fought Broner, I think he outpointed him. But that's with those big ass gloves. He doesn't have no disrespect. He doesn't have a good body for the sport.
Yeah.
He's not genetically gifted. He's just not. He's just like he's got an awkward body. Like athletically, he moves in an awkward way. He's just really smart and really tough. And he did the very best with what nature gave him.
Yeah, and he became world champion.
Yeah, he became a legitimate world champion, and he knows so much about boxing. But it's a different world when you don't
The
have any
owner
fucking
of Bare
gloves on.
Knuckles was like, this proves that we have the best combat sport in the world. After the fight, I was like,
Settle the
oh
fuck
my
down.
God.
There's some Thai guys that would
Because
come out there
our
and
fighter
wreck
beat a
shop.
boxer.
Yeah. Yeah, but they don't. It's just, you can't say it's the best combat sport in the world because you can't let them elbow and kick and punch and knee. It's like, there's a thing about boxing, right? The sweet science. The thing about it is if you only let a guy box and with boxing gloves, you get to see some shit like when you see Floyd fight where guys are punching him and they can't fucking hit him. He's right in front of them and he's moving away because his knowledge and understanding of what you can do with those two weapons is just off the charts. He's got it focused like a goddamn laser beam and you just can't touch him. He's better than anybody that's ever been in terms of like his defensive. Like he gets hit less than anybody who's ever fought and had 50 wins. There's nobody that gets hit
How many
less
more
than
fights
Floyd.
did he have after he beat Canelo?
That's a good question.
He fought Pacquiao after that.
Yes, he fought
He
Pacquiao.
fought Berto.
He fought Berto. He fought.
Was it the?
Who else did he fight? Did he fight Tim Bradley or did Bradley fight
No,
Pacquiao?
he fought Mandana, right? Twice.
Fought
Was that
Maidana.
after?
No. I think the Maidana fight was before. That was one of the things that gave a lot of people that thought Canelo had a shot because Maidana cracked him in that first round. Remember?
Yeah.
Or not first round. The first fight rather.
Right before the bell.
Yeah, right before the bell and wobbled him a little.
Yeah, he stumbled.
Yeah. Both of them were before? After. They were.
Yeah,
Really?
look, so
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
interesting.
Floyd had some fights after. So
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The Guerrero fight.
Canelo record was crazy
Miguel
even then.
Cotto. Yeah. Look, man, Floyd is a motherfucker, dude. He's a motherfucker. You might not like the style or the way he fights, but the boxers that appreciate how difficult it is to do what he does, just he's a new benchmark.
Yeah.
He's a new benchmark in terms of how to get out of that sport with getting the very least amount of damage and fighting the most masterfully. And he's really changed the way Canelo fights. You see Canelo against Danny Jacobs. Canelo's using a lot of his shit.
His stuff, yeah.
I mean, he's like, that's how you do it, man. Like,
It'd be crazy when people like, oh, Floyd should fight this version of Canelo. It's like,
Canelo's
that was
way bigger.
Yeah,
now.
come on. It's a whole totally different thing. I mean,
Canelo's a legit middleweight now.
you know what the Triple G Canelo trilogy reminds me of? Remember when Pacquiao fought, who was it that knocked him out? Why am I blanking?
Yeah, Juan Manuel Marquez.
They fought three times. Pacquiao won twice.
And Marquez flatlined.
And they flatlined him. And I was like, damn, what if Triple G get his third chance and that happens? Because it's similar stories. Like, he won twice. Everybody said Marquez beat him twice.
Yeah.
And then they finally fought again, and then he beat him.
Boom. Yeah.
And Pacquiao still fighting, though.
Yeah, how is that possible?
He's fighting Keith Thurman.
I know. That's a tough fight. That's dangerous.
He can win it.
Yeah, he can win it.
He just knocked out his last appointment.
Yeah. Listen, Pacquiao's still good. He's still good. And after he got shoulder surgery, you know, I mean, he's as good as he's ever been.
Yeah. I just hate that he keep using that excuse that his shoulder is messed up against
When he fought
Mayweather.
Floyd? Yeah. It would have been interesting to see him 100% healthy against Floyd, but Floyd was smart with him. He's like, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Isn't it weird that people say he waited till he got old, but Pacquiao's older than Floyd?
Floyd's older than Pacquiao.
Yeah. Floyd's older than Pacquiao.
Yeah, but he did wait until Pacquiao got a little worn.
Yeah,
After he got knocked out by Marquez, he's like, okay,
Yeah, let's go.
it looks like now's the time.
It still wasn't close.
Well, it's also, you know, Floyd is incredibly smart when it comes to promotion. He's not going to let anybody get 50-50 with him. It's like, no.
That's the whole Eddie Hearn
Yeah,
shit, though.
yeah.
That's and then what can happen?
Well, that shit is crazy. What did you hear about him getting hurt before the fight?
I heard that he had a anxiety attack,
Yeah, I heard it.
and I heard he got knocked out.
That's what I heard. Yeah, we're talking about Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but for the people listening, we heard that Eddie Hearn is the promoter of Anthony Joshua, and what I had heard was that he got flatlined in training or dropped and hurt bad in training.
Yep.
And it was like leading up to the fight, like very close to the fight, whether a week or so out. What did you
Then he
hear?
well, I heard that happened, and then he went to Miami to finish the rest of his camp after that.
Really?
So that's what I think his dad was bitching about, like Joshua. I'm not 100% certain, but in the ring when they was getting into it, he was just like, I told you he wasn't right for the fight. He wasn't, you know, they was trying to reschedule the fight.
Yeah, they probably should have. When you get dropped like that,
because you see how he got, like the punches he got hit with, they don't seem like punches that would.
He also looked a little out of it.
It's
easy to say that though after.
Now.
Right. But Andy Ruiz is a bad motherfucker, dude. That guy throws combinations, man. Andy Ruiz is a bad motherfucker. You know, people just get confused when they look at that belly. If you took all that fat away and you saw what was underneath it and he fought the same way, but he weighed 220, you'd go, wow, he's got a real shot.
You see them Instagram videos of him training, how fast his hands is. I'm like, whoa.
Fast as fuck. Confusing.
Listen, when they told me to film him, I think he might have had 20,000 followers. And then in one night, he had like 1 million. I'm like, golly. And he seemed like a humble guy. He keep like trying to promote Snickers like every day. Snickers. He want that sponsorship. Snickers need to give him his sponsorship.
Snickers?
He likes Snickers. He's a big boy. Like he.
What do you think happens? They're gonna do a rematch?
Yeah. And yesterday Ruiz Jr. said, I'm gonna beat him worse because I'm gonna be in better shape. He can't box. And I was like,
Whoa.
He was an Olympic gold medalist. He can fight.
Yeah, he can fight.
He can fight.
He can box. He can box.
It sucks because I was going to cover Big Baby Miller.
I think he's fucked if he fights Deontay. I think Joshua just can't. He can't hold up under that firepower.
Nah.
Deontay hits people, and it's like he's got some fucking Mortal Kombat superpower in his glove. It's crazy.
Yeah, he got that old slave genetics.
Well, he's got that Tommy Hearns frame too. It's like a giant Tommy Hearns, whereas all that leverage, all that torque, he hits so goddamn hard. When you look at a guy that has, what does he have, like 40 wins, 39 KOs, it's something like that?
Yeah, 41 wins, 40 KOs or something crazy.
Well, the only one he didn't KO is, as we talked about before, was Tyson Fury. But if you looked at the count, if you had a real clock and you hit stop or you hit start when he went down, instead of relying on the referee to go 1, 2, maybe Tyson would have gotten up because he would have known that it was 8 when it was 8, because the referee was saying 8, it was already 10. You know, it was like 1, 2. By the time he got to 8 and 9, and then Tyson stood up, 10 had long been passed. So technically, but that was also the case with Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. You know,
I talked
when Mike Tyson knocked down Buster Douglas did not get up by the count of 10.
No,
on a real count of 10, an actual 10-second count. But his obligation is to get up by the referee's count, not by a clock. They should use a fucking clock. Why don't they use a goddamn clock?
Early on, I used to document Tyson's trainer, Stacey McKinley. After he got out of prison, that was his, and he was. I used to always bring that up with Holyfield and him, like. But he was down 10 seconds. He was like, "They don't mean shit. They ain't nobody caring about that. Like they don't use that as an excuse. Like he was.
It's true because he could have gotten up at 8 or 9 if they actually had a real clock.
Yeah,
it's not like he was out cold and he woke up at 8. You know, it's like he was just gathering his thoughts and trying to get his brain straight.
Imagine if in MMA if they had standing 8.
Why the fuck doesn't boxing have a clock? Like, well, they have a clock when it counts the ring, right? The ring time. 3 minutes for a round.
So soon as somebody falls.
Have a fucking real clock that shows 7, 8, 9. So you don't leave it up to the goddamn
referee. So then the ref can look in the corner and say, "Oh, it's at," and you pick it up from there.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be the ref counting. It should be like a voice, like a digital voice. 1, 2, 3. Like, so it's 100%. 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's so crazy because one guy could have a fast count, one guy could have a slow count. That's stupid.
One guy could have an envelope in his suit pocket in the locker room. Just make it a little bit slower.
Yes.
And then, so you just never know about that.
I looked this up when we were talking about this a couple months ago. Supposedly that the time official is supposed to start the count immediately, and then the in-ring referee picks it up once he's got his attention on
that is what
right?
happens. Yeah. The problem is the referee does not do it to 10 seconds.
Right.
He doesn't do it to an actual clock. That's what happens. When the guy goes down and says, go to a neutral corner, and then he picks it up 3, 4, but he could be off by 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Easily. Yeah.
Like if a guy celebrating and then he spends 4 seconds trying to get him to his corner.
Yeah, but that's on the guy. That makes sense. But once the guy goes to neutral corner, the fucking clock should be like a legitimate second clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Or you flatline people like Wilder. and then they don't get up.
Yeah.
It says it comes from a gentleman's rule, so I don't know if it was supposed to be 10 seconds. It's just
so does parking your horse in front of the fucking saloon. Get out of here. It's 2019. We got clocks, bitch. This is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense.
Boxing is shady.
Well, boxing is shady as fuck. One thing I like what Glory does, though, they incorporate 5 judges. These 5 judges. I think the UFC should do that as well. I think 3 judges is ridiculous. When you see bad decisions...
It's a lot of those.
Like, I don't know who the lady Angela Hill just fought against. I thought it was a bad decision. And I looked at that. I was like, why don't they have 5 judges? 5 judges who know, and have 5 judges who know what the fuck they're doing.
But you said it would even like they name 170 welterweight. They just do what they want to do.
Well, boxing uses 3 judges too. It's I don't know. The more the better. It's not like it's expensive to have a lot of judges.
Because remember that scorecard that gave the draw to Canelo?
Yes. Tim Bradley, Pacquiao. No. Tim Bradley. The one.
No, Mayweather and
Canelo. Yes, yeah. That lady, she vanished.
And then she did it again, right?
Yeah, she did it again with Tim Bradley and Manny Pacquiao.
There you go.
Yeah, when Tim Bradley beat Manny Pacquiao, and everybody was like, "What?
What
the fuck?"
Even Bradley knew he didn't win that fight.
No, he didn't win that fight. But the Canelo one was ridiculous.
That was crazy.
That a draw. So that's one of those weird things where it's like all someone has to do was put a shitload of money on a majority decision. So like that Floyd's not going to knock Canelo out. Yep. He doesn't really knock a lot.
He's going to win,
out.
but
he's going to win. Put the money on a majority decision. It means one person has to be dirty. All you need is one person who's dirty, and you can win millions. Boxing is so dirty. It's so old.
You can't be dirty in UFC though, right? Really?
With the judging?
Yeah.
I think the judging is incompetent. I don't believe it's. I've never had any indication. No one's ever said to me they think it's dirty. I think it's incompetent.
Incompetent?
There's a lot of incompetent judges. But then there's also, we got state judges.
Yeah, it'd be weird with the refs sometimes. I was like, who is this ref?
Well, like we were talking about with Kamaru Usman and Damian Maia. That's a ridiculous thing to separate those two. That's ridiculous.
Just let them play it out.
Also, you got a constrictor. You got a guy whose whole deal is to get you in a bad position. And then he gets you in a bad position. He's working his way. He's trying to work his way. He's got one hook in. He's got your back.
It was time left, too.
It's time left. Break!
Yeah.
Fucking break you! Break!
Yeah.
Are you crazy? What the fuck are you here for? What are you here for?
Yeah.
You just want rock'em sock'em robots? Go watch bare knuckle boxing. Get out of here, bitch.
I just rewatched the Askren Robbie. I think they could have stopped it when he slammed him. And he
could have.
Could have stopped it.
Could have stopped it. When he was fucking running his
head
face
kept going back.
Boom, boom. Could have stopped it.
But that was a lot of time left.
Yep. Could have stopped it.
I was in the locker room with Robbie when he came back. Could
have stopped it, but I watched that with Herb Dean. I had Herb in here, and we watched it, and Herb changed my mind because I was thinking that he wasn't out because, it's like they got to run that back. And Kamaru was saying they got to run that back, that he was out. Or that he wasn't out,
where
rather.
The arm dropped?
Yeah, but then I watched it with Herb, and he's like, this is not a normal way your arm drops. I'm like, you're right.
So he could have just been out for a second?
I think he was out for a second.
And then just woke back up?
Yeah, popped back up. And the way Askren said it is when Herb started coming over to him, he knew he was out. Herb started coming over to him. He let up on the grip a little bit, and that's why Robbie popped right back up.
Consciousness?
Yeah, I believe Ben. And the arm, that is, you don't let your arm just drop like that. I think he was out for a second.
So as soon as he picked his arm up, he woke back up because he was like,
I think
thumbs up.
Ben clamped on his head, Ben squeezing on his head.
Yeah.
The arm drops. Herb comes over to look at him. He thinks he's going to stop the fight. He lets up a little bit because he thinks he's already out. And then he pops back up to life, and then Herb stops the fight. And Robbie's like, what the fuck? I think that's what happened.
That's one of the most confusing back and forth. Even during the fight, I watched it. You and Dominique.
Yes.
He was like, no, he was. Nope, no, he wasn't.
Well, he's not out.
I believe you're right there.
It's hard to tell. You're also looking through this cage, right?
Yeah.
And it's over there, and we're like, what is happening? He's out. Oh, he's not out.
Herb was in a bad angle.
Yeah.
He was in a bad angle.
He's the gold standard, though.
Yeah, he's
Herb's the best.
Yeah.
And he's so calm about how he handles things. Never emotional, always logical. He's always the way he breaks things down. He's the gold standard, especially now that John McCarthy's not in it anymore.
Yeah, he's doing a great job at Bellator, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, Bellator. It used to be there was like a clear difference between UFC and Bellator. Not anymore, man. You know, Rafael Lovato and Mousasi, did you see that fight?
Yeah, I saw that.
Woo!
Man, that's
a
crazy.
high-level fucking fight, man.
That's crazy.
Especially after Mousasi beat Rory McDonald, which Rory probably shouldn't have been fighting him at 185 pounds. It was the wrong weight class. Mousasi's way bigger than him. And Mousasi is beating guys, real top-flight guys at 205.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you got Lima, who just knocked out Michael Venom Page.
Brutal. No promotion on him.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there like, man, I wish I could have just got my hands on and told this guy's story.
Yeah.
Because nobody knew him.
Lima's a murderer, bro. He's a murderer.
And his brother in the UFC, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, Diego. But Douglas is as good as anybody alive at 170 pounds. I really believe that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I like
He
what
could be a
Scott,
world champion in
Scott
any
Coker
division.
doing.
Yep, I do too. I wish that they would do the same thing that one is doing with the weight cuts. Just cut all that weight cut bullshit out. Just stop it. That's not necessary.
Michael Chandler cut a lot of weight too. He a big boy, so when he got hit,
he's heavy.
That's I always like when I see him get hit like that. I see how much weight these guys cut because I'm around it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, he didn't really get hit like that. He got hit on the temple though, right?
He got hit.
Pitbull hit him on the Pitbull hit him on the temple.
It's hard.
Yeah.
They both hit hard. It's one of those crazy games where, you know, whoever connects first can put the other guy out. Especially after Chandler knocked out his brother, it was a big deal.
Yeah, that was double champion. It's a lot of double champions now.
Yeah.
Conor started it.
Yeah.
You got Bader, he the double champion.
Yep.
You got Pitbull.
Yep.
You got Cejudo.
Yep. Amanda Nunes. Yep.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You had Conor, obviously.
Yeah. Daniel Cormier.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy. Now he threatening to be. I would say because they're gonna have to do if Cejudo is out for a year, they're gonna have to do an interim at bantamweight.
Yes.
So who you do? Aljamain and Peter Yan.
You could do that.
That's a good fight.
Yeah, that's a very good
But
fight.
where does Cody Garbrandt fit in the picture?
It's a good question. I think Cody has to win one.
Just get a fight.
Yeah, he got knocked out twice in a row.
By Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro Munoz and, you know, obviously the TJ Dillashaw one comes into question. Now the TJ gets popped for EPO. But what did he say on Chael Sonnen's podcast?
Yeah, he had an explanation.
He took it because he's trying to make the weight.
Yeah.
He must have been just so drained trying to make that weight. You really do have to
I like TJ too, man.
I do too. I was sad.
I was supposed to film him a week before he lost it, Cejudo, and then he was just like, let's just do the next camp.
Dude, he looked like a goddamn skeleton going into that fight.
You see the picture when all those pills was on the table?
Yeah, ridiculous.
It was like 500 bottles.
Yeah.
I was like, why would you?
Just to maintain his body, keep it alive while he's just basically draining all the life out of it to make the 125 pounds.
He's owning up to it, though.
Yeah,
I like that. You got to face your truth sometimes.
He also had a really fucked up shoulders. Both shoulders are fucked up, and he wound up getting surgery on one of them. You know, I don't know what.
Then he had the video. He was fat looking and with the mustache. I was like, what the hell is going on? Did he just go to get kidnapped by aliens and drop back off?
Well, when you lose that much weight, your body wants to hold. Your body is essentially, you went into starvation mode.
Yeah.
And your body wants to hold on to every fucking calorie it can. It slows your metabolism down. I just think you're doing a giant disservice for the rest of your life with your body when you do that. I think it's very unhealthy.
Brutal cuts.
Yeah.
Take years off your life.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of fighters say, man. It's Sean Soriano, there's at Hard Knocks 365. I remember when Usman was getting ready for the Willie fight. That's my favorite time to film during fight week because that's the true raw emotions is the weight cut.
Yeah.
Everything else is standard. They got to do open workouts, media. It's boring stuff. But that weight cut, you see these people's souls. And Usman in there, Ben Askren, they all in the PI. They all cutting weight together. I'm just thinking, this is crazy. Yeah. And you seen the picture with Cowboy and Tony Ferguson when they was side by side cutting weight? That's when that respect goes to the all-time high with the fighters because they all in there trying to feed their families, man. This show and win money.
Dude, Tony Ferguson scares the fuck out of me. That guy don't get tired. He doesn't get tired.
Khabib,
everybody
respect him
who
too.
Fights him looks like they got run through a fucking meat
I know,
chipper.
they brick hands, right?
Bricks.
What the hell is he doing? Punching in
He's got big ass hands, man.
Fire every day.
Tony has big, wide hands.
So many people been screaming for me to please do the anatomy of Tony Ferguson.
He's so interesting too.
That's one of them situations where it's like, I got to see how, I don't know, man. It's weird. I'm in a weird position because, like, for example, I like Conor, but damn, that relationship you got with Khabib is horrible. I can't.
Yeah, I understand.
It sucks because
especially because you're
I
friends with
filmed
Khabib.
the Conor team before I ever met Khabib. Had Owen Roddy, all these guys on the channel, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm Team Khabib. You know, when you get invited to somebody's country, be around a family, eat the food with their brothers, that's sacred.
Yeah.
Like, you got to respect that. So I respect that. Tony Ferguson's a different one. They talk shit, but I would love to get Tony Ferguson on the channel.
Do you think that compromises your objectivity, or do you think that's just the price that you pay to be that close?
I know. I think it's the price you pay sometimes.
Yeah.
But I wish fighters will understand what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build.
I think they do, and they definitely will now.
Yeah, I'm trying to build a platform for all fighters. I don't care if y'all fighting. It get ugly. You throw a dolly through a bus, you talk about somebody's family and all this stuff. I get that. Man, I can't touch that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like somebody like Tony Ferguson versus Khabib, I want to have the access to go with Tony and Eddie and film that and talk to them and get inside the mindset of who Tony is. No one has really promoted Tony Ferguson. I feel like I could do an amazing job spending a day or two with Tony Ferguson and talking about life and things.
I think you could too, but I don't know if Tony would be into it. Tony is a real rebel. I mean, he's a very unique guy.
He may give you a little bit, but not everything you want.
Yeah, he doesn't want anybody in close with him. He's got secrets too in terms of how he prepares and how he trains.
He had one of my good friends document him his last fight in Vegas, the one when he fought Pettis. He documented him the whole time. So he had a camera crew with him.
Well, I think after his last fight, I think people are starting to understand the Cowboy fight. This guy is something truly special.
Yeah,
and everybody knew, but if you look at the last time, I mean, Luke Thomas had something on his Twitter documenting the last time, how crazy it is if you look like who was champion the last time Tony Ferguson lost. I mean, he's a monster, man.
His last loss was to Michael Johnson.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Long time. I think it was 2013.
That's crazy that Michael Johnson beat him. He beat Dustin Poirier. Michael Johnson beat Dustin Poirier.
Flatlined him.
At lightweight.
Yep. KO'd him.
And Edson Barbosa.
Yep.
And his tough losses was to Gaethje, who he could have beat Gaethje. He had him beat.
Yeah, they both back and forth.
And then the Khabib fight that I really, I mean, that's debatable that he stung him. But
he definitely tagged him.
He tagged him, but it wasn't like a flip.
He hit him. It's a fight.
Yeah.
But Khabib mauled him.
He grabbed him, and it
just shows how good Khabib is.
You have to give up. I deserve this.
Yeah. Give up.
That's when I was like, who the hell is this?
You don't have
dude?
to be champion. Like,
I didn't know who Khabib was. I was documenting Michael Johnson for the camp.
I know he's telling him to give up while he's beating the fuck out of him.
You know I deserve this, right? And then like Mike on the bottom and hit him back. Bah, like under. It's like I was like,
how about when he was beating the shit out of Conor? Let's talk now.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Let's talk. Boom. He's just beating
So
his
you
ass.
know, I was backstage when he came back in the locker room.
Yeah.
After the melee. People have never seen that footage yet.
What was that like?
It was crazy. I remember Cormier was like, "Will, turn the camera off," because it was just too much going on. Yeah, I've never released it yet because out of respect of the courts. So I showed a snippet.
Yeah, hide that shit.
I just
look. We need him to fight again. We need to get past all that nonsense.
Yeah, trust me. I can't wait to show the world one day how crazy that was in the locker room. But
listen, Will, we just did 3 hours, man.
Whoa!
Can you believe that? Look, it's 3:10. Look at the clock. God, crazy.
Damn.
Time warp in this place. This was everything I was hoping it was going to be, man.
I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you. And I think what you're doing with your channel is amazing. Your documentary is amazing. And I appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Woo, fuck, 3 hours.